evening, everyone. Welcome to the championship review, and it's the final weekend with all the games we're going to review on, and we're going to discuss the last spot, remaining spot in the automatic promotion, as well as the final spot of the playoffs as well. And yeah, we see the Stefan's face says it all, but let's say good evening to both Michael and Stefan. Good evening to you guys.
Good evening. Can I just say as well, and because I'm a massive nerd, may the 4th be with you, with anyone who watches Star Wars. Happy Star Wars Day.
Happy International Star Wars Day, guys.
Yeah, I literally just put a post on Twitter about the opening sequence of Revenge of the Sith, which is my favorite Star Wars film of all time. So, yes, big nerd I am. Care I do not. There you go, Stefan. I'm glad I've cheered you up a bit.
If Yoda was in a Wrexham shirt, that would be cracking.
You mean you could just go, hope you may have. Snatch it away from you, Hull City will. Finish in the playoffs, you will not. Stefan's like, F off, you must.
He's pissed. Stefan, I know Stefan's still pissed after this.
To be fair, actually, I was kind of consoling Stefan in the group chat.
You don't want consoling me, Reese.
Yeah, so you two were just roasting the hell out of him. I was trying to be nice and just go like, Stefan, you still had a great year, mate. You finished, was it 7th in the end? I think it was.
Yeah.
Seventh,
You know, like you said, like Stefan said at the start of the season, if you would have offered him 7th going into the season, or any Wrexham fan that would have taken it. But of course, while the opportunity's there, of course, you're going to be disappointed not to have done it. But let's just say I would be very surprised if Wrexham are not competing there next season. As in at least top 8.
Well, we need to wait and see what the summer brings. But like I said in the group, and we'll come to this later on, I can see fresh blood being in that dugout next season.
We'll talk more about that.
Will do.
Later on. We'll probably do that, Stefan. We don't want to ruin it. The good stuff now. Let's look at the yeah, the good stuff comes later on with you. So just remember that one.
Am I going to assume then you're going to start at a certain ground called Portman Road?
Pretty much,
yes,
definitely do. We definitely have to do. And Ipswich got back up to the Premier after they clinched that final spot of all that promotion, beating QPR 3-0. Goals from George Hurst, Philogene, and Casey McAteer cement their place back up in the Premier League after they got relegated last season as well, after 4 wins in the top flight last season. I don't know whose microphone's in the background. I just want to make sure there's no echo as well, please, gentlemen. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, it's okay on my end.
That's fine.
Sorry.
Whatever. That's fine. No problem. But yeah, guys, well, congratulations to Ipswich. They got their return. And then a bit of a pull start to the season, don't get me wrong, but what a way they finished it off during the second half of the season. They're very well consistent this season. And can this Ipswich side survive next season in the Premier League?
Well, it's like I said on the Saturday show, for them to come back up at the first attempt of asking, well done to Ipswich, because it's a very, very tough week to get out of when you go back down with all your teams that get relegated with you. But for Ipswich to stay up and have a fair crack at the whip, and next season they're going to have to spend. We're going to have to spend on quality, not quantity. Get established players that have played in the division into the squad, not just 1 or 2, and then you've got a chance of staying up.
Well, I do understand that stuff, but last season, look at the season before that, they didn't expect to get promoted. Like Michael said when we talked about this 2 seasons ago, we did expect Ipswich to get promoted, and especially we did not know, especially they were. I think they kind of prepared because they had the money to buy the squad, but I think it was the squad that was prepared for this season. This past season now it's just done, so they can try to get back up, because we knew that they were not going to have the resource. Well, they had the resource, so they had to do the right thing to invest, which I think they have been the best team. Most of them were the best teams in the championship this season. I think, despite a poor start to the first couple of weeks, most of the season, but they have redeemed themselves quite well.
I think, to be fair, if you're looking... Sorry, Stefan, unless you want to go on. You go first.
I was just going to say, okay, think of it this way. If you had 5 top transfer targets, you were going to bring in 2 keep you in one of the most sought after divisions in world football, who would it be?
I don't know. It's a hard. I think it's question. I think it's.
I know it's a hard one, and it's supposed to be because it's supposed to make.
I think that's something that each they need to discuss particularly much of that what happened the first season when they got into the Premier League last season. But
if I was to pick, I've got probably 2 players in mind that I think Ipswich would probably take, and I think would be deemed affordable, but also I think could be good enough at the same time. One of them depends on if Middlesbrough get promoted. You can probably guess what I'm going to say here. Hayden Hackney. I think that would be I think that would be a start in the midfield. And I would push the waters with Chelsea for Liam Delap again. But it would have to be on loan probably. Now I think for me, to answer the question, I'll give Ipswich the credit because look, obviously, Kieran McKenna kind of said it in his interview, really, that this was probably a harder promotion for them to do than the others because, well, maybe not the League One promotion, but the one certainly 2 years ago where it was kind of like a basketball game from what you remember 2 years ago when Ipswich got promoted. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. That suited Ipswich because teams were willing to have a go at them and they ended up getting picked off because of it. I mean, I think I can remember that Leeds beat them twice. I think they stuffed them at Portman Road. I remember, not Portman Road, sorry, Ellen Road.
Ellen Road, we lost
4-0, I believe. Yeah, I think you won 4-3 at Portman Road, if my memory serves me rightly, and then 4-0 at Ellen Road. But like Leicester didn't beat them twice. Did Southampton beat them at St Mary's?
Yes.
No, they didn't. Sorry, they lost twice to them. I remember.
Lost twice to them. Yeah.
So they did do really well. Obviously, they did overachieve. I think that's pretty fair to say when you compare to what Leeds and Southampton had that year. But when you're looking at what Ipswich have done this season, and I agree, like me and Carl have said before, their transfer business 2 summers ago was more about preparing for 25-26 in the Championship, all likely, rather than 24-25 in the Premier League. Now, this time, they've got the core there now, and really what they would probably do, they would have to target, for me, 6 or 7 top quality additions. And that's what I could see happening. Do I see them surviving? That depends on the recruitment. Right now, no. Yeah. Right now, no, I don't think so. And one of the reasons I think, and it's probably to an extent with Coventry and who goes on to win the playoffs, one of the problems I think that they're going to have, there's 2 big problems for me they're going to have. One is SCR comes in instead of PSR. Now, for those who don't know, to sum it up in a few seconds, SCR basically means that you can spend up to 85% of your turnover on the cost of your first team. The problem is when, let's take Leeds and Sunderland, for example. Both of them are going to be staying in the Premier League. I know Carl's going to go, mathematically not done yet, but they're staying up. So basically, if you're looking at next season, Leeds and Sunderland would have a lot more turnover coming in because they've both survived a season in the Prem to spend than what any of the promoted clubs will have done because it's not a 3-year rolling period now. It's a season by season basis. This for me puts a lot of the promoted clubs at a huge disadvantage in that regard. Now it's not impossible; it can be done, but the Prem's a hard league, and as Carl can testify to, like for both of us, like I don't know what Carl thinks, but I've definitely noticed a step up in quality. A massive one. It's like I think the best way to put it is I think you can see less chances in the Prem than you did in the Championship. But for every 5 half chances in the Prem, it's 1 great chance. Sorry, in the Championship, it's 1 great chance in the Prem because the quality is such a different level. But I don't know. It's Ipswich. I think have a better chance next season than they did last season. It did 24-25, but a lot of that depends on what the recruitment is. And I can see Sunderland, for example, getting better next season. I can see Leeds. I can see Leeds with building on what they have certainly got. I know obviously Leeds probably need to be better at. I guess Carl would agree. Need to be better at selling players to try and build their turnover a bit more to be able to spend a bit better.
Yeah, well, that's. I think that's. I think with the new ownership now, I think that's what we do a little bit more.
That's what you need to do. I think, for example, someone like Joe Peru, you need to get a fair bit of money for. But the thing is,
not only that, also the players is on loan. From what I've been told, Ramazani is the only one who's been doing quite well on loan. Jack Harris has had his shit time at a few teams, so they're not going to take him permanently.
You could get Joe Gelhardt sold to Hull permanently.
Around about 3 million for what I've been told.
I
think it's 10 million for Ramazani, but he might he might come back. Because I don't think Bullets will have the money for it. And also, Verber's had a shit time at Werder Bremen. So he's like, and even Buddy Isaac Smith as well. So so we have got some, but we need to get rid of. So,
but what I was going to say though was, if you look at your like the quality you've got in your team though. Like look, I like Bogle, Goodmanson, Ampadu, Stack, Calvert-Lewin, Nemecha, Okafor. Like straight away, that for me is head and shoulders above what the promoted clubs currently have. Now, it is important to stress the window is a deciding factor in this. It's not done yet, but I think Ipswich do deserve credit for this season because I think that this season the expectation was there, and it's not necessarily straightforward to do. Put it this way: they're the only one of the parachute teams that have gone up automatically, and Southampton obviously can win the playoffs. Then obviously, but you look what's happened with Leicester, Sheffield United, even as a year 2 parachute team, have had a terrible season really for what we expected of them. But I think the difference is Ipswich this time had the, would you call it an advantage? They had the factor of being the big hitters this time, where teams were more than happy to sit in and to make it difficult for them. So I think there was more expectation upon what Ipswich were doing, but no doubt in my mind. I mean, I think certainly they've been deserving probably the more. I did think that their parachute quality would come through in the end. And I think that's kind of what's happened. And obviously, look, Coventry's been the best team, I think, by somewhere. I think the table doesn't lie in that sense. Sometimes I think that positions in the table can be misleading a little bit. But I think in Coventry's case in particular, it's not. But Ipswich, certainly for me, have used their quality well. And one of the best things about them is when Jaden Philogene got injured, no problem, Jack Clark can play there. That's what. So say Wrexham, for example. Say next season Wrexham get promoted, and then say, I think Wrexham would actually have a pretty good chance of staying in the Prem if they get there. But even if, say, Wrexham went up and came straight back down, the money is totally different. It's
What
totally
are you trying to do there, Stefan?
No, but because I could swear, well, no, I'm trying not to bridge on Wrexham too much, but one of the reasons I think Wrexham, selfishly, and I think Stefan hopefully will take this as a compliment when I say this, selfishly, I didn't want Wrexham to go up because I thought I can see them making a good fist of it next season if they were in the Prem. Because for me, I want to avoid second season syndrome. So exactly. I'm thinking, right, can the worst equipped teams come up to the Prem and then just all be like really crap and go straight back down? Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But the point I was making was, even with Wrexham, with the money and the capital they've got now, if they went up and came straight back down, the money is astronomically different. And that's where what Ipswich were able to do was to build a championship super team effectively. But they still had to go and do the job. You look at, say, Leicester's team, and we've gone through Leicester constantly, but like you look at the Leicester team, in theory, that is full of players that should be nowhere near the relegation zone, but they got relegated. So there's no guarantee that you're going to do it. So I think Kieran McKenna, and he got, what has he had? 3 promotions in 4 seasons? Kieran McKenna. So
almost like Phil Parkinson-esque at Wrexham with you back to back. The only difference for Kieran McKenna is they weren't back to back. That's the only difference.
Well, no, I think obviously Phil Parkinson started at 2 leagues lower than Kieran McKenna did with Wrexham, didn't he? So I think
he started in the national, but you know what I mean? It's
absolutely,
kind of quality. But it's really interesting, Michael. Sorry, you saying about Rory Delap there because me and Carl were.
You mean Liam Delap?
Liam Delap.
Sorry,
hang on. Have you gone back in time?
Actually, no. Here's the thing. Actually, Liam. Yeah, his middle name is Rory Delap, Liam Rory Delap. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, to be fair, so what Stefan's done here, he's gone all back to the future, took the DeLorean, gone back 20 years and brought Rory Delap into the future, and he's still playing football at a Premier League level.
But it's actually very interesting you saying that about Liam because me and Carl were having lunch on Friday, and I said the exact same thing to Carl. Do you think that Liam will go back to Sunderland because he's not getting
Sunderland. I was going to say
my head.
I'd have him. Absolutely would have him. But
he's not getting much time at Chelsea.
He's not getting much time.
He was injured for a fair bit, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's had 26 games this season.
But put it this way, if you're looking at what Chelsea, I mean, look, I know Chelsea are terrible at the minute, but their aspiration should be get back to the Champions League. I'm not sure at the moment. Is Liam Delap good enough to do that right now? I think he's got the potential. Potentially, he could be, but right now, I don't think he is.
I don't think potential at the moment. The way it's Chelsea, I think Chelsea made a big fit when you let Nicholas Jackson go.
Well,
buy a unit for 50 million pounds low fee, which I still don't get to.
The point I'm making is
even never played. And Delap, I think Delap made a big move. I think he could have stayed. I think he could have stayed at Ipswich this season if because I think him doing it in the Championship would have done wonders for him to try to, but they got promoted.
I mean, I suppose to be fair, when he's got double figures for Ipswich, I think it was in the Prem. I think that was very
12. It was 12 last season. Yeah,
that he was going to stay. I don't think it was likely he was going to stay. But my point is, I think if you're a Chelsea, I think if you're any of the promoted clubs, Liam Delap, I'll know straight away, is one player that I would look to try and get. And you look at it, actually, I think Ipswich would have the appeal for Liam Delap. Like say, let's have you for a season-long loan. And, even if you wanted to, a season-long loan and then, say, an option to buy if you stay up.
Yeah, because I don't think there's a buy. When I said to Stefan, we did feel like there might be a buyback clause, but I just don't think there's a buyback clause because Chelsea paid a lot, paid £10 million. So I don't know if a 6-year contract, these players do not have these break release contract clauses.
Well, exactly. So I think, so I'm interested to see how Ipswich approach this window now. Although I think they are starting from a better position of strength than they did when they got promoted 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys will agree they need to do a lot, in my opinion. They need to do a hell of a lot but they can take heart from what Leeds and Sunderland have done because although I would say the slight difference, not altogether, but the slight difference, I think Carl would agree here, Leeds and Sunderland for me are two examples of clubs that should be attracting huge talent even for promoted clubs. Now, obviously, but that talks. Money does talk these days. And in the Prem, it's totally different. So, what do you guys think? As of right now, does your gut say that Ipswich will do enough in the window to give themselves the best chance of staying up? Or rephrase that. Do you think Ipswich will have enough in the window to stay up? That's the best way. Because obviously they want to give themselves the best chance. But is it going to be enough?
Well,
I don't think it will be.
Right now, no. But I could be proven wrong.
Yeah.
For me,
right now, no.
I don't think so at this moment in time. But when you guys hopefully have proved wrong, because if you take the Sunderland model, even though you guys came up through the playoffs, you spent your lucrative winnings, let's say, very, very wisely. You got about, 15 to 20 players, something like that. And then, obviously, they had to have things to bed in. But once they bedded in, oh my God, you guys were a force to be reckoned with, right from the first game of the season.
I would say, to be fair, that I think Sunderland, in some senses, is an anomaly because we had that. Well, maybe not completely. We had the advantage of selling Tommy Watson, say, for 10 million. We had the advantage of selling Joe Bellingham for, around 30 million quid, give or take add-ons and whatever, because Birmingham got like 15% of the fee.
And the same with Jack Clark as well.
This I was going to say, but we were doing this in the Championship. So I know Ipswich did it last summer, but what I mean is, as a non-parachute club, we were doing that before. Like Ross Stewart in 2023, I think it was, Jack Clark in 2024, and then last summer, Joe Bellingham and Tommy Watson in 2025. So that was one of the reasons we were able to spend. So, for example, not to bring this up too much for Carl, but if you look at the Habib Diarra and Noah Siddiqui transfer stuff that was going on last summer, one of the reasons that we were probably able to spend more was because of that. Whereas that's something that I think Leeds could be better at, which is selling at the right time to then increase your expenditure, and then as such you can spend more. But I would say, to be fair, I think Ipswich should be looking at what Leeds have done more so than us, because I think Leeds are probably more comparable because they started out, in fact this time I think it is comparable, because both Leeds last year and Ipswich this year are starting out as there were parachute payment size to begin with, and as such then, yes, they might not have quite as much to spend, but Leeds still spend pretty well. Like, you've got to look at like what Leeds have done. Like, again, Anton Stack being a big factor. You look at Calvert-Lewin. Now, that was a gamble, but I remember saying to Carl at the time, that's a good signing if you keep him fit. And he's got like 12, 13 goals this season.
It was either him or Callum Wilson with the two options.
Yeah, I think you've got the better end of the deal. Put it that way. But the point is, but look, Calvert-Lewin and Nemecha, both free. Yeah, you'll have agents' fees, signing on fees, and all that. But they essentially didn't cost you a transfer fee. And that helps when it comes to avoiding legacy payments. So I think Ipswich would be comparable to look at what Leeds have done. But even Leeds still did, to some extent, what we did, which was prioritise quality and bargains in the foreign market. Because, as you guys know, a bang average player in the Prem, what's that going to cost? 20 million to 25 million at least. As in someone who's playing in the Premier League. That's a bang average player, maybe even a bottom 5 player. Whereas I'm looking at abroad, Anton Stack. How much did he cost? 17 million quid. And he's been one of the best midfielders this season for me in the Prem. So that I think that's the model Ipswich need to go down to have the best chance. And probably similar to Coventry as well. Because obviously we'll talk about Coventry a bit later on. But actually you could probably lump Coventry into this, I suppose. But like Coventry, I'd say Coventry are more comparable to us because they were the last two non-parachute payment clubs to go up. Whereas I think Ipswich this year are more comparable to Leeds last year because both started out as parachute payment sides, if that makes sense. But unless either you've got anything to add if you disagree with us.
No, I don't think.
Nothing.
Can I just quickly say before we move on to the next game? I just want to say, to be fair, quickly, I think, but you got to give credit to Ipswich for starting out with the trap straight away, because that would have been, because you can bet your bottom dollar, Ipswich fans would have been ing themselves beforehand, and then obviously,
listen,
yeah, they were, and they were
after 9 o'clock here. So
well, I was going to say, but I bet by 20-1, I think those nerves were significantly calmed because they were like 2-0 up within 5 minutes or to within 10 minutes. So that was always. But I just want to mention, did you see the controversy around QPR's team selection?
Yeah, they didn't have no strikers. Yeah, we talked about that. We said on Saturday. They had no
strikers. QPR.
Yeah, I can imagine fans of Millwall. Well, maybe Middlesbrough didn't matter so much in the end, but Millwall in particular, going, hang on a minute, why have you gone and played a week? To be fair, even at full strength, I don't think QPR get anything at Ipswich anyway. But yeah, it was just an interesting point. But at the end of the day, I think you've just got to credit Ipswich for doing the job effectively. Like, you know, Ipswich this season, again, similar to probably Leeds and Burnley last year, Sheffield United to a degree last year. You know, it's about the pressure of being a relegated club, a parachute payment club. And you've got to say, to be fair, if Ipswich's strategy in 2024-25 was to recruit the best championship players for this season, it's worked. And it's worked to a treat.
Yeah, agreed. I just agree with that one. I do agree with that one wholeheartedly as well. And then congratulations to Ipswich as well for getting promoted as well. I really appreciate that.
Just say they'll also appreciate doing the double over their rivals as well. Norwich for the first time.
Exactly.
So I don't think it got much better for Ipswich.
Yeah, really good season for Ipswich as well. Let's go into look at the teams in the playoffs right now, actually. Millwall winning 2-0 against Oxford. Unfortunately, they missed out due to Ipswich already won the promotion. Ferry East put Millwall after we scored a brace in the game. And against Oxford United, do you think Millwall now, you know, with that win, is a little bit more confident for the head of the game coming up this weekend?
Yeah.
I think I suppose the one result that Millwall weirdly will probably look back on is that draw at Leicester and not beating Leicester away. But
it's not that one. I also think of this other result, the game against Blackburn. They should have won that.
Yeah, that's another. But to be fair, though, they did have a man. Well, actually, a point wouldn't have been good enough because of goal difference. But yeah, can I just say, by the way, for anyone who's interested, Everton have equalised against Man City.
Okay, well, this is game on.
So that's going to be. So I think I'm in a group chat with a bunch of Arsenal fans. Actually, oh, hang on, never mind. It's been disallowed.
Oh,
I think. Hang on.
Yeah, it's disallowed.
No, sorry, the goal stands.
Yeah.
Just so you can show that it wasn't me being a dick. Oh, disallowed.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's come up now.
I think everyone's going to be absolutely buzzing right now. Hang on. But yeah, sorry, no. Hang on. But yeah, no, I was going to say, to be fair, if you're looking at Millwall, to answer your question, Carl, I think with Alex Neil, there's no reason why. Put this way, I would be very, very confident. I'd be very surprised if Millwall aren't in the playoff final. I fancy Alex Neil to do, and I think the job that is it Jurkovic? Is it at Hull?
Yeah.
I hope I've got that name right. But I think the job he's done has been remarkable with a transfer embargo. But I just think the experience of Millwall with Alex Neil, and I think I don't know what you guys think. I'm quite confident. I'm quite optimistic that I think Millwall get past Hull over 2 legs. But I mean, it was important for them just to sort of win this game because obviously, look, Oxford were down, but you've got to beat what's in front of you. And you've got to say, even if Millwall don't go up from here, it's been a sensational season for them, I think. Finishing third, 1 point off second. And let's not forget, again, they're not there through the sake of luck. They're there because of merit. You know, they've went away to Ipswich, got a draw that they thoroughly deserved. Did they deserve to beat Borough? I don't think so, but that's the character you've got to show. They've come from behind to win at Borough. That's incredible stuff when you really look at it from Millwall. And of course, it could absolutely still be. It could still be a great. It could still be even. It could go. I think it's been a 9 out of 10 season so far for Millwall. What will make it a 10 out of 10 is if they win the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's the best way I can put it. But if Southampton don't win it, then I think Millwall would be my bet to win it at the minute.
I agree with you, Michael. I think we've got a manager in Alex Neil who knows the playoffs. He knows how to do it, not just in England, but in other countries too, God forbid. And I think Millwall's going to be favourites. I think if you wanted me to rank it, it's going to be a Millwall Southampton final.
I agree. I think it will
And
be.
I think Hull are going to be the outside chances. And take nothing away from you, Kurovic and Hull. As you said, the job he's done with a transfer embargo
Outstanding job.
is outstanding. But I think we're going to be the dark horses, and it's going to be a Millwall Southampton final for the most lucrative game in football, apparently.
It always has been, Stefan, for a long time. It's always been the most lucrative game in football.
I know.
Yeah, no matter what, how much it's been, what, £200 million over 3 seasons. So, yeah, absolutely as well. Right.
Sorry, but I just think, to be fair, I think they've got a manager who just knows how to win the playoffs. He's done it.
Yes.
Hamilton Academical, I think it was in Scotland.
Yeah,
Norwich, Sunderland.
We on about that for obvious reasons.
I wonder why.
Wonder why, Stefan.
All right, then, for the sake of not making Stefan suffer, because we know we're going to make him suffer later on.
Well, he's only suffering the way Buddy Celtic beat their ass, and they went down to 10 men. Oh, bloody hell!
2-1 Everton.
Jesus.
Sorry, guys.
See, you get it. Calm down, Stefan. Calm down. Whoa.
Well, by the way, can I just say, that's if VAR don't disallow it, because I made that. He goes, you know what it's like before when you just go, oh my God. Let's just say someone in the group chat's put, come on, you toffee twats. Oh, that's funny.
Right. Do you know what?
Right, anyway, sorry.
We got Latecomers joined us now, so at least he's here now. So after let's say good evening.
There he is.
Eddie, you could have did it before 9 o'clock. Before 9 o'clock.
Excuse me, I was in the library until about whenever 7:30. So thank you very much. I was
working. That's like an hour and a half.
Monday.
To be fair, we did have to make dinner. To be fair,
I had to make dinner. I had to eat dinner. I had to wash up.
You couldn't wait for the wash up after.
No. That's not
I will give Annie this, to be fair. If I'd waited till after doing a show, I would not have been motivated. So I would have wanted to get it done before.
I still bloody would. Well,
he's here now. To be fair.
Well, for the dinner, it took extra long as well because I had to cut up all the vegetables, all the garlic, or whatever. Cook the chicken.
Get prep garlic and cook all the chicken breast as well, man.
I had to let the chicken rest. I had to make the sauce. I had to wait the sauce thicken. It's just a mess, mate.
This is a new feature to the championship.
No, this ain't going to be no new feature.
You mean the new feature is me? The new feature is me constantly updating you of Everton 2, Man City 1.
No, I might get that on my iPad.
You should do. Well, Everton were 1-0 down, Annie, until about 5 minutes ago.
Saw the score, yeah.
Put it this way, one of the WhatsApp group chats I'm in has got a bunch of Arsenal fans in it, and safe to say they're all pretty depressed right now.
Right.
But yeah. Actually, I'll quickly ask Annie. You mind if we quickly ask Annie his thoughts? I want us, because we were talking about the playoffs. So we were just talking about basically how big would you fancy Millwall's chances in the playoffs? Particularly, for starters, in the semi-finals against Hull. Because it's been a great season for I said to the others that it's a 9 out of 10 season at the minute for Millwall, but if they win the playoffs, it's 10 out of 10 any day.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because you'd make them heavy favourites to the semi-final, wouldn't you? And I think any third versus sixth semi-final, you'd make third heavy favourites. But I don't want to I'm taking any credit away from Millwall here, but you just feel like they have got it in them to just slip up somewhere. They might just be in
Leicester, for example.
If they I don't know, if they don't beat Hull in the first leg at the MKM, which is very possible, you just have that feeling in a one-off game Millwall can sort of lose it, especially to Hull side, who are have shown to be incredibly efficient this season at points. Remember, at the start of the season, they were scoring sort of 5 goals of like 0.02 XG or something. Like every half.
There's the XG hipster stuff. Love it.
Every half chance was going in for them. Yeah. So they can be efficient. Their form's tailed off a little bit, but no, I'd make them heavy favourites. Southampton, I think, I'd make the favourites overall for the playoffs.
Well, because me and Stefan were saying that we both think, I don't know what you and Carl think, but we think it's, at the minute, it'll be a Millwall-Southampton final. As of right now, before the playoff semis.
It's so difficult because I think Southampton Middlesbrough is so fascinating. I bloody love that.
To be fair, Borough took 4 points off Southampton in the regular season, didn't they? And stuffed them at the Riverside.
Yeah. And you've got the Finn Azaz element on top of all of this. Who I think in the first leg at the Riverside, that's going to be tasty if Finn Azaz is starting. So, no, look, I'm incredibly excited. I think I'd make Southampton overall favourites. I'd make third and fourth favourites for their individual legs.
Do you think then, to be fair, if you're Millwall at Hull and Southampton at Borough, and I don't think both teams will set up like this or have this mindset, but do you think if they both don't lose the first leg away from home, they go, yeah, that's solid enough?
Yeah, that's normally what happens, isn't it? I remember, was it Leeds and Southampton
when they played West Brom and Norwich?
Yeah, and it was 0-0 the first leg, and it was drab and it was not good. But then Leeds obviously blew them away first half.
And then Southampton second half blew them away, didn't they? Southampton went 3-0 up against West Brom.
Yeah. So you can sort of do that, and I think they'd probably take that because Millwall home factor that's massive for them.
The Den in a second leg on a Monday night.
And I think Southampton have lost once at home under Tonderecker, and I think that was against Hull, weirdly enough. So, I think they'll back themselves at their respective home grounds, both of them.
Mind you, I wouldn't be shocked if Millwall won at Hull in the first leg because they did that in the regular season. That's the type of Alex Neil sort of Millwall away from home type of result. You look at Ipswich away, drew 1-1, deserved to. Came from behind to beat Borough away 2-1. They tend it's like Carl mentioned, although they had 10 men at the time, losing 2-1 from a winning position against Blackburn at home or drawing 1-1 at relegated Leicester. It's those type of games that have cost them in terms of top two, which feels weird to say, given I think if you said that to a Millwall fan at the start of the season, I think they would have really not believed you one way or another. So
that would have still been an unbelievable performance by all of them if they were 2 points in the end or 1 point of top two?
Well, it would have been 2 points effectively because of the goal difference. So they would have had an extra.
1 point effectively off the top two. If you said that, they'd be laughing. If they said third place at home in the playoffs, second leg at home, they'd bite your hand off.
Safe to say, I think the playoffs are going to be very, very interesting. I'm really looking forward to watching them.
Yeah. I think it's going to be more. What was this? What was the other playoffs last year? Oh yeah, Sunderland, Coventry, wasn't it? I think Middlesbrough Southampton's got the capability of being genuinely a good, enjoyable semi-final to watch. I know playoffs are enjoyable in terms of the tension and the nerves of
not if your team's involved in it.
Yeah, obviously not. But from a neutral perspective,
if you're watching as a neutral,
it's like unless you've got a team who've just sort of snuck in late on and have got nothing to lose, unless you've got that sort of attitude or mentality. But generally, it's quite cagey. No one wants to lose it. I think Southampton Middlesbrough has got the capability of being open.
Yeah,
both teams are going at it. I don't think Hellberg or Ecker are going to go, oh my god, the Championship playoffs. We've just got to sort of protect what we have or anything like that. I think it's going to be all guns blazing. So I'm really looking forward to particularly fourth versus fifth.
Yeah, I am as well. And I think, particularly with Southampton, I think if you actually look back at because like Carl mentioned with Ipswich earlier, Southampton to a lesser degree started really poorly, if you remember, at the start of the season, and yet finished the season on 80 points. And I always keep harping back to this game, and probably it's a turning point for the opposition here as well. Leicester 3, Southampton 4. That's the game for me that probably was the real big turning point in Southampton's season, where they were 3-0 down at half time, weren't they? And you can't. And okay, granted, that's because Leicester were cack, but at the
3-1, by the way.
3-1 to Everton.
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
It looks offside though. I don't know. We'll keep talking, Michael. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Well, it's not been allowed on here, so it hasn't come up on BBC or anything.
Not yet. I need to do that.
Either way, I think. But you got to be fair. As much as I've said, I think it'll be Millwall, Southampton. Hull and Borough are both there on merit as well. And I think that what's going to be really good from the. Well, it looks like it looks like the third goal standing according to this.
He's definitely standing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm quite. I think to be fair with Hull, like Annie mentioned, if you're the team that sort of snuck in at the end, I think Hull will have that attitude because Stefan, you might want to cover your ears for the next 5 seconds. But basically, because obviously Hull were outsiders going into the final game and ended up sneaking into 6th on the final game, I think because of that, that's going to have the extra. I think the atmosphere at the MKM Stadium is going to be rocking on Friday night. I think it's going to be, and similar to Borough to some extent, because if you look at how the last 2 seasons have been for them, they had 8th and 10th, or whatever it was in the Championship under Michael Carrick. So, and remember, they lost. I remember they lost Rob Edwards mid-season as well, who started really well for them.
3-2.
Oh my God!
What?
Why is every time I decide not to watch a game, it's always entertaining?
Listen, I've got to do the 20 podcasts recorded tomorrow night. So,
well, fair enough then. I need to see if you want me to send a clip from Wolves Sunderland if you want. But
you do,
anyway,
please do, yeah.
We'll see. We'll sort that out.
While you do not do that, I'm going to get myself a drink, so I won't be.
That's straight from kickoff as well. Literally just one through ball.
I mean, to be fair, I think if you're an Arsenal fan, you probably even take this ending as a draw. To be honest, as long as Man City don't win, it's
moments later.
Yeah, but either way, I think that because Middlesbrough finished on the exact same points as Southampton, and I think that out of the 2 games, the game that excites me more is the Middlesbrough-Southampton game, because I think that's got potential to be real go gung-ho basketball sort of game. It's going to be a real. I'm fascinated to see how that battle goes, because you got to remember, like I said, Middlesbrough lost Rob Edwards mid-season, and that could have cost them, but it ended up not doing so. I mean, okay, in terms of top 2, maybe it did, and yeah, if you're looking at Borough losing at home to Portsmouth, finding a way to lose from behind from the leading position against Millwall. To be fair to them, they were cost by a contentious penalty, 2 points away at Ipswich. So there has been an element of misfortune there, but I'm looking forward to this, and I think I wish we weren't playing on Saturday. I would have loved to have sat in and just watched Borough Southampton, but I think it's gonna. But I'm really keen to see because I think the atmosphere, particularly in the first legs. Because Middlesbrough will think, right, screw it. We've got a year 1 parachute team. We're here on merit. We've been above Southampton for most of the season. We're finished on exactly the same position as they did. And then you got Hull sneaking in at the last minute. I think it's going to... They're very different stylistic games for me, if that makes sense. I think Middlesbrough-Southampton will probably be the more technical, attractive sort of game. But I could see Hull-Millwall being a very tactical sort of game. And I'm not saying Borough-Southampton won't be. But I could see Hull-Millwall delving into more that side of things.
Okay, Michael, here's one for you and Carl.
Okay.
Do you think if Rob Edwards hadn't gone to Wolves from Middlesbrough, I mean, taking nothing away from Kim Helberg, he's done a hell of a job since coming in and taking over the ship, but do you think if Rob Edwards remained in charge until the end of this season at least, that Middlesbrough would be automatic promotion contenders?
No.
I
just think, like I said earlier, I think Ipswich would have come good enough eventually anyway. I think they would have had the... You could say that Kim, to be fair, when I've watched Borough under Helberg, they've impressed me more in style of play than they did under Edwards. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But I just think, as great as Middlesbrough started the season, and I watched them beat Ipswich actually under Rob Edwards, and I thought they deserved to win that night. But I just think Ipswich would have been too good eventually, personally. But obviously, it's I can't prove that. It's on hypotheticals. But to me, I don't think so. But I might be the only one who thinks that.
Well, towards the back end of Edwards' tenure at Borough, their form started to slip.
The numbers started dropping a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, they obviously a couple of draws and the defeat, lost 3-0 at Watford. No, I think I agree. I don't think it would have continued or could start. I think could have sort of petered out. I think they'd have got into the playoffs, but
yeah, I agree.
I don't think they would have got. I don't think they would have done what Helberg would have done or has done, which is a bit erratic, but six wins, 5 defeats, whatever. But I don't think they would have got to the top 2 now.
Yeah, agreed. I think yeah, they had a good decent start. But could it be consistent towards the end of the season the way Coventry was going? Probably not. And I think you see teams like Ipswich and Southampton would have chased them anyway closer. So yeah, I still think Middlesbrough would have missed out on our promotion.
Yeah,
but I still think finishing in the playoffs is a very good season for Borough.
Yeah,
just to make that very clear. I think it's still.
Yeah.
I think you look at that, like I said to you. I think if you said to Borough fans, because again, you remember how it ended with Michael Carrick last season. It didn't end very good, did it? It ended quite
No.
wouldn't go as far as toxic, but it ended very. He was on very thin ice, put it that way. And I think it was the right time for both him and Carrick and Middlesbrough to separate, which feels quite weird saying this because he's just got Man United into the Champions League. But I think that's a bit different with being an ex-player. Whereas I think, I just think that, how can I put this? I think personally that I think this season, don't underestimate how good a job, because Edwards does deserve credit for the start of the season. But I also think that Kim Hellberg's obviously, and that's not easy to do. You've come in and took a team that started well, and you've kind of kept the momentum up enough. It's like the reason they've not been in the top two, essentially, is because of stupid games they've lost. Like you look at the 2 games against Portsmouth. What was it the second tier podcast came out with? Basically, Portsmouth had 2 shots on target against Borough this season and stole 6 points. So it's stuff like that that costs you top 2, effectively. But it's still been great for them to finish in the playoffs.
Yeah, probably agree with that one. Yeah, definitely agree with that one. Can't deny that. I think 100%. It's hard for some team to keep that consistent in second place because we did say at the start of the season. You and Michael said the points like what we and Burnley got last season. No one's not going to eclipse that. We knew it was going to be a lot less. It was going to be, especially without it. Was the final table was Coventry 95. Which was pretty much around that bench. We thought it was going to be like 85, a little bit more than that, closer. But
yeah, just an extra 10 points.
Yeah, but surprisingly, Coventry still finished like 5 points behind, 5 points behind where Leeds and Burnley did finish. So
can I just interrupt you, Carl? Sorry, but I also would point out if you guys had a competent goalkeeper, you could have got an extra 10 points for me.
Yeah, that one I can agree with that one anyway.
So I think I know it sounds weird. I know like Annie's laugh. I get what he means. Like it's weird saying it like that when you ended up winning the league anyway.
It's fine. We've had worse. Okay.
The point I was getting at was last season, Leeds and Burnley were comfortably the 2 best teams in the Championship. For me, and I'm including Sheffield United in that. I think they were comfortably better because both of them did the double over them. But I think this season, yes, the standard of parachute teams hasn't been great, but equally it opens up an opportunity for the likes of a Coventry to go and do what they've done. I don't know if you want to quickly brush over Watford 0 Coventry 4, maybe just to sort of
might as well
try and move things along a bit. But the point, can I stay quickly on Watford Coventry? Ellis Sims' second goal.
Oh yeah, crushed.
And I'm someone who's stuck up for Ellis Sims quite a lot because I think a lot of our fans somehow think he's shite when he's not. But either Premier League level, probably not convinced. But I think when you look at it, I'm glad for him that he got a hat trick. And actually, what I've been pretty impressed about Coventry is they got promoted, didn't slacken off. Won the league, didn't slacken off. They've kept going and putting on 95 points. And I think that, how many bloody goals did Coventry score by the end?
They've scored
97 goals. 97 goals in the Championship. That's over 2 goals a game. Like, as a non-parachute payment club, that's insane. Look, don't get us wrong. I know Watford's Watford, and of course, Ed Stills got sacked, which is no surprise there. But you've got it. When we talk about the manager of the season sort of contenders, and it's easy to give it to the manager who's won the league. But I think in this case, it's richly deserved. For me, you can't finish 11 points ahead of second, 12 points clear of third, score 97 goals, and be comfortably the best team in the league with by a mile the best goal difference as a non-parachute payment club, and not deserve manager of the season for me. But don't know if any of you guys have a different opinion on that.
No, I agree.
No. I agree.
Yeah.
I didn't even have them in the playoffs. Another top prediction for me.
I mean, if it helps, Annie, I had Leicester finishing third.
You did.
So they did finish third. 23rd, but they still had a 3 in the way they finished. But yeah.
Whereas I bloody Preston going down this season, and that was proven.
Well, me and Annie said I think we both had Hull and Preston going down. Yeah, shows what we both know.
So, and the worst one was I had City finishing above Leicester in that final spot in the playoffs. So
I mean, you got the Birmingham finishing above Leicester bit right.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
By quite a long distance.
I had Birmingham third.
Oh, where did I have Birmingham? I think I had Birmingham 7. You know what we should do actually, if you'd wanted to in the next few weeks?
I've got it here.
Do a show if you react to your championship predictions and see how wrong you got it. And
you know what? I have that video. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to write everyone's predictions table, what we got, and then do the side.
Oh yeah, we did it at the start of the season, didn't we?
Bad. No, let's not do that, please.
Why is it because you don't want to get shown up?
So if I got 3 bang on, and 4 of them I got 1 off, and if you switch them around, it's like
Listen, we're gonna do it regardless.
You got to find a way to get content kicking over, don't you?
I had 2 pairs where it was I had 11th, I had Team A 11th and Team B 12th, but in the end it was Team B finished 11th and Team B finished 12th, like something like that, which is just utter luck. So like, yeah.
To be fair,
I'm not complaining.
The one thing I did get right was Sheffield Wednesday. So
I think everyone probably would have done, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's
You know what I'm most impressed about? You know how I kept talking about how QPR are the most erratic, unpredictable team? I predicted them to finish 15th and they finished 15th, and that is
what did I predict them to finish? Oh, no way, so did I. Joe, I've just realised I've got 3 bang on the money here. Well, at least 3. 1 Sheffield Wednesday, 1 QPR, and 1 Bristol City. I actually said they'd finish 12th at the start of the season.
I had Stoke 17th, which is another bang on. I had City 11th and Swansea 12th, and it was that was going to happen until the last 15 minutes, and then Swansea decided to score twice, and then it swapped itself around.
So Annie basically hates Swansea.
Yeah. No, I hate Nathan Jones now. Can just bloody hang on for 15 minutes, mate.
To be fair, though, if you look at some of the outliers, like Leicester and West Brom being 21st and 23rd, they're like ones that would have caught everyone off guard. Even with Leicester's problems, like people have said, oh, well, they might not go up. Okay, fine, but I didn't expect them to be 23rd. Certainly. Yeah. So, I don't know. Well, for what it's worth, my top 6 was Ipswich, Southampton. I can't believe I'm saying this. Leicester, Sheffield United. Then I had, because I had the parachute clubs in the top 4. Then I had Coventry and Norwich. So, got 3 of the top 6 right, just the wrong order.
I think I've said this before, and I listened back to my predictions video. I had Norwich 6th and Coventry 7th. And as I was talking about my Coventry prediction, I was like, oh, this is not anything bad to do with Coventry. This is mainly due to the managers. And I rate Liam Manning that much higher than I rate Frank Lampard. And I cringed at myself watching that back.
I will say, in fairness, I put Coventry in the playoffs, Norwich in the playoffs for that exact same reason. I thought that Liam Manning was the main reason for it, but as it turns out, they've significantly upgraded. But yeah, no, to get back on point with Coventry, I think Coventry, like you missed it, Annie, but we were talking about Ipswich's chances of staying in the Prem next season, and I think that actually next season, I think Coventry have got a lot to do, but I do think that Lampard is a good enough name and brand to be able to attract some good players. I could even see like Coventry, for example, going. If say Ipswich didn't get Liam Delap, I could see Coventry going for that. Basically, anyone who's in Chelsea's reserves could end up in a Coventry City shirt next season, more or less because of Frank Lampard. But no, I think you've got to give immense credit to Coventry for what they've done, but I think equally they're probably going to have to try and sell 1 or 2 players to increase their turnover to then spend more, because you need to spend in the Prem if you're wanting to be serious about surviving in it. It's the difference in quality, as I said, is just staggering. But for Coventry fans, you worry about that another time, don't you?
Yeah.
And bearing in mind for them, even though Ant is probably going to hate this, but even though he probably has still too much of a social life with baby Riyadh, he's probably not going to be watching this. But I would say that with him, Coventry, I would say pretty much deserve this, because they've been through, 25 years since they got relegated from the Prem, and obviously they were.
No way.
And that was not even the worst of it. It was getting a lot worse before it got better. So I think, shout out to me mate Matt SB, who is a Coventry fan, and one of my mates called Ben, who I do voice notes on WhatsApp with. Like, I'm very happy for them. I don't actually mind Coventry too much, so I'm happy to see them back in the Prem. But it will be a fascinating one to see. And he's going up the cough. We'll wait. Oh, and he's got a Prem team. Annie, you're welcome to come in the away end.
It's actually my local team. It's a different.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. So, but yeah, it's going to be a big summer for Coventry. They have to recruit a lot of Prem level players, and that's not.
But they only started that with Onyeka. He's now joyful.
By the way, that has been a sensational signing. That's probably one of the biggest turning points in a season full of them, in fact, but a significant turning point in them doing what they did. And if you remember, the nerves around Coventry before they beat Borough at the CBS, and it's funny how that one game has probably transformed both teams' seasons to an extent. Well, transform maybe is a bit harsh, but it's helped Coventry on the way to the title. and it might have knocked the stuffing out of Borough a little bit. But you know what? Make no mistake. Like, you think you've got to, and again, before you look, we've waxed lyrical about the players that Coventry have got, but it's a sensational achievement what Frank Lampard's done.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Right.
Do we quickly mention, about Ed still being sacked by Watford, or is it just Watford doing
Watford doing Watford? Listen, we move on from that. Yeah, forget that, man. Listen, they've had 25 managers in 14 years.
Wow. What? I knew they could change a lot, but I didn't realize it was that much.
More than Chelsea has done. So yeah, 25 managers in 14 years. I saw a stat up. I saw something about that today, and I thought, bloody okay, then 25. Yeah.
Do you know what I was mentioning?
That includes.
Is it 3-3?
Oh my god, what a goal that is!
Has Man City equalised?
Yeah, they've equalised. That is ridiculous.
Doku.
Oh my god, what a goal!
To be fair, what I would say is that's still not a good result for City. That I think Arsenal will still be
97th minute though. Wow.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Oh well, thanks, Man City. We're only 1 point behind Everton now.
Well, do you know what? If Everton should have won, because this was David Moyes' first chance to beat Pep in career. So
is it?
6 minutes of added time, by the way. They've scored in the 97th.
Okay, we'll see how the title race goes. But yeah, either way, I think I'll say this quickly on Watford before we move on. Like Watford, well, pretty much they need to find an identity, what they want to do, have a head coach, and bloody stick with them. But this is the ownership of Watford we're talking about, so it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, so fair enough. Interesting summer for Watford, but for Coventry, sensational. 95 points.
I mean, let's be honest, just quickly, gentlemen, who is going to take that Watford job knowing if you lose more than 2 games in a row, you're out the bloody door?
Can I just say, anyone going to Watford would be insane not to take it, because you're going to get a nice, big, fat, juicy wage package not long after going into your tenure.
Well,
right, does any one of us want to apply to go to Watford as manager? You're going to be a multi-millionaire in about probably 3 months. Actually, I'd say that's generous. 3 weeks. Yeah. No, what Annie was talking about, getting like some teams one place out in the table. I got a Watford one place out. I went for them to finish 17th.
Actually, do you know what? Let me take that one back. They've had not 25 managers. It's actually
100 managers.
21
or 31? Did you say
22 managers since 2012?
3 all full-time, gentlemen.
Yeah, they've had 22 managers across since 2012.
22.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Well, I think Watford speak for themselves, don't they? Then.
Don't think we need to harp on about Ed still. I think we know that it didn't smell right the moment he stepped in. Dev just never really looked like a fit, to be honest. And
maybe the stills just aren't cut out for managing in the Championship. I don't know whether it's something about that division that might. Maybe it might just be an adjustment, sort of adapting from Liga into the Championship. I don't know.
I'm not going to say anything that may incriminate me in the future ahead of a potential Bristol City managerial appointment. Put it that way.
Liam Manning going back.
No, he's
not Manning.
Not Manning.
I know. I'm just trying to take the mic.
It could be
Struber. You mean Gary Struber?
Next game.
Okay, next game is then. I'm just saying.
He's just going. Let's move on to the next game. Well, all right then. Do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Derby, Sheffield United, or Hull, Norwich?
Yeah, we'll get those. Yeah, we'll get those both out of the way. Yeah.
This is where Stefan's going. I'm just going to sit here if you're talking about Hull, Norwich. I'm just going to pretend I did not remember the weekend.
I'll let you take the lead on this one, Michael. Go ahead.
What, is in which game to start with?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fine. Hull, Norwich is the bigger game, isn't it? It's a bigger story. Yeah, I mean, right. Let me see if I can get this manager's name right, because I always get it wrong. Sergei Is it Yakurovic?
Yes.
Hey, I'm quite right. If that's close enough, I'm quite proud of myself for that. To be fair, I actually thought Hull would lose this game because of.
I was hoping it would.
Well, you were happy for about 90 seconds. But yeah, I mean, Mohamed Toure. I mean, what a sensational start to his Norwich career this season, by the way. But I thought Hull would lose this because I thought Hull have a daft result in them. But equally, they also have it in them now to get big results when needed. But I think it's going to be... I think you've got to give credit to Yakurovic, because what was it? So Andy might want to correct me on this. they had a transfer embargo and they had a few problems financially behind the scenes, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Hull. So to get into, and bearing in mind, they stayed up on goal difference, I think. The final game of last season.
Yeah.
In fact, no, they had to draw Portsmouth and bet Luton losing at West Brom. I remember this, to stay up. And now they finished 6th, which is, and actually, if you notice for Hull, it's been quite a few topsy-turvy sort of seasons, really, where you've had the first season, was it 22-23, I think it was, since they were, the second season, I think they finished something like 16th or 17th. Then they got into like 7th, then they got to 21st, and then they finished 6th. So I think Hull fans have been through the ringer here, but yeah, fair play. Ollie McBurney, of course, scoring twice to end up giving Hull, and that's not an easy game. Norwich, even if they don't have anything to play for, is not an easy game. And quickly on Norwich, I mean, I've mentioned this before, but I think with I know, Stefan, I know, but I'm trying to be the diplomatic one here. It's Carl and Doug who are probably giving you stick, or Carl and Reece, sorry, who are giving you stick on the Saturday show.
Listen, we had to give you stick for it, man.
Are you going to say he needed to be humbled a bit?
Yeah, of course we need to. He had to be humble. We had to make him humble, realizing this.
Come on, Wrexham!
Life is not fresh. Life is brutal. That's what we did. So he needs to. Yeah, we brought him back down to earth. So
yeah, well, okay. So I can only imagine. I can imagine what you both would have been like when you saw Hull had scored the second.
Oh yeah, you should see this. We were still going up and down. So.
Oh, that would be hilarious, actually.
There's no point. You just said it now. So yeah.
Well, okay then. So, but if you're looking at contenders for manager of the season again, yeah, I think Lampard deserves to win it. But I think Jurkovic is in a very, very good. It deserves to be in the conversation for it because. That's a difficult, and bear in mind the financial circumstances, transfer embargo, and you've still got a team in the playoffs. And let's not forget, you're finishing ahead of a very good Wrexham side. You're finishing ahead of a very good Derby County side with the squad they've assembled. You've comfortably finished ahead of Sheffield United and Leicester. Okay, granted, that's not difficult, but still, you've finished above the two of them.
Norwich City as well.
Norwich, well, yeah, but Norwich's form since Clement's gone in has been. It's been, what is it, among top 2, top 3 of the Championship from the point he was appointed? Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder if they'd sacked Annie's favourite manager ever a few games earlier and got Clement a few games earlier, Norwich could have been sitting in 6th right now. But no, to be fair to Hull, that it's great character to stick in the game because Norwich had chances and made them work for it. So, yeah, and obviously you saw the reaction at full time at the MKM Stadium. So, Stefan, you've had about 3 promotions back to back. You've had a really good time of it in recent
Give someone else a go, right?
I remember Stefan a few weeks ago. I think it was you, Michael, that asked him if you had to give a percentage, how confident are you that you get into the playoffs? And I think he said 90 or something like that.
I don't think he went that high. I think he said something like 70. Something like that.
70.
Which is still pretty high, but I don't think he
that's not age relative, Mike. That's Stefan.
I know.
Right, guys, on what percentage of confidence have you guys got that Stefan's just going to be quiet throughout the remainder of this when we're talking about the playoffs?
Probably 90%.
You know,
110.
You know what is 100% likely though? Wrexham not making the playoffs this season.
Oh, savage!
Thank you. You
see, man.
I knew Annie was going to join in the fight.
I will say, to be fair, Stefan has given Annie a good bit of stick in the last few weeks, so I think it's been about time he got
It's been coming, Stefan.
See, Stefan, you're laughing because you know it is true, my friend.
He's got a point. He has been coming.
Actually, what Annie should have been going, oh, Ollie McBurn.
All I can say is get that lad on that plane to the USA.
Actually, yeah, you'll be playing both leagues in Sunderland, won't you? In this American tour thing that we're doing. Oh, you mean the World Cup? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Come on. Wrexham leads Sunderland and Liverpool. That's more important than the bloody World Cup, man, are we?
We're going to get you.
Yeah.
The Dragons are coming and we're going to roll over the Black Cats.
Yay! The Netflix Disney Plus derby.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, joking aside, while Annie recovers from his laughing fit.
He's like, I don't blame him, actually.
Do you think Annie's flatmates are going to be looking like, what the hell is he laughing about? Oh, Annie, what's the matter? Have you cried? Yeah, I've cried with laughter, mate.
Yeah, cry laughter and joy.
major sporting event happening in the USA this summer. The
Oh
Sunderland
yeah.
Leeds and Wrexham's
Yeah, in a pre-season tour thingy, whatever it
All I
is.
can see is Disney Plus One, Netflix, fuck all.
What are you saying? 4-all? You think we're going to win 4-1?
No.
Okay.
I'll repeat that. Fuck all.
All right, then you want to play that game? You want to play that game?
You have to play this game, Michael.
Oh, don't worry, I've got a savage response here. Sunderland seasons in the Premier League recent times 1, Wrexham, fuck all. And I could say which one of us dropped to League One, one of us dropped to the National League. I wonder which one was which at the lowest point.
I'm so lucky I'm thick-skinned, gentlemen.
You do have a sense of humour, to be fair. Yeah. To be fair, I remember being the butt of everyone's jokes, because remember, Stefan will remember this. Well, Parkinson, you useless one. So I've killed Annie and Stefan in the space of 5 minutes. I'm on a roll here. Just need to do the same with Carl next.
You're not going to. There's no chance.
No, probably not. Joking aside, while Stefan calms down, I think. But yeah, Jukanovic. I mean,
are we still talking about Hull, are we? Okay.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about the pre-season tour. To be fair, no. I mean, what a job he's done, though. Like to get Hull in the playoffs. Like you said, you see the reaction at full time because even in the concourse at Wolves, they were showing Sky Sports and the reaction to all of the grounds at full time, and you could see the jubilation at the AKM at full time, what it means for them. So fair play to them. Thoroughly deserve to be in the playoffs.
It's so poor though. Pitch invasion for playoffs. We'd never.
Well, hence why I said celebration, not pitch invasion. I don't condone that.
Yeah, we'd never do that.
Rubbish.
I mean, the pitch invasion celebrating Bristol City 2, Preston North End 2.
Yeah, no,
I mean, he got you.
Objectively, yeah, celebrating.
I mean, to be fair. You could, I mean, if you wanted to be savage towards that, you could just go, and then a few days later.
Okay, we don't talk about that bit, right?
How about we talk the first 44 minutes, and then forget everything after that?
No, I still don't. I just don't want to.
0-0.
Just that night, to be honest, I don't really think.
Yeah,
about
fair enough. But no, I think Hull's probably going to have the best feeling going into the playoffs because, like you said, when you're the team. I mean, I can imagine. Well, actually, best off asking Annie this. Take out the games themselves. What was the mood like in the city in the build up to that game up till before kickoff? I can only imagine how it must have been bouncing. Has to have been.
Yeah, I mean, well up for it. It was a case of this is our chance, really. We've got in here, we've overperformed, which Hull have massively, even more than us. I think last season they were expected to be right near the bottom. Hull, so overperformed. Get in here, you're playing third place. And this is not Sheffield United of last season where it's a year one parachute team. This is Millwall team who themselves have performed, done really well, been one of the standout teams in the championship.
Yeah, but they're not at the player level of a parachute team, are they?
Yeah, they're not parachute. They're not a parachute team. They haven't got that sort of level of squad depth, ridiculous level of squad depth a parachute team would have. So this is an opportunity for Millwall. It really, really is. It's a not Millwall for Hull. To go and win that first leg, because you have to win that first leg. I think if you don't win that first leg, you're asking a lot of yourselves to go to the den, because this is an opportunity for Millwall as well. Mind, like they've not been in the playoffs, well, in the championships for a long, long time.
Yeah,
they're third. They should be the favourites overall to win this thing, and they've never been to the Premier League since it was rebranded. So this is a real opportunity for both sides. So yeah, again, from a whole perspective, just go and enjoy it. To be honest, just go and enjoy it, and hopefully you don't get your fit centre back sent off after 45 minutes for a stupid challenge. Which I'm over it. Yeah,
I'm over it. No, really. But yeah.
Do you know what, guys? The championship playoff semi-final that sticks in my mind is not Leeds and Derby's tie. It's the one where Leicester and Watford played.
The last minute Troy Deeney goal.
Saved. Watford bombed up the other end, and Troy Deeney went, "Thank you very much. I'm taking my team to Wembley."
His hog.
Bergshog. I wonder why he says that. Just something that I find quite funny, actually, and very interesting, which is, I mean, maybe you want to talk about Southampton's game very quickly in a minute, since obviously Southampton and Middlesbrough's games. Stefan to talk about Wrexham Borough, I suppose. But like, if you look at the goal difference of all the teams, which is not relevant in the end, but I just find it quite funny. So Millwall's got plus 15. Then you got Southampton plus 26, Borough plus 25, Hull 4. Which is just, I just find it incredible, really, how it's like Norwich and Derby have got a better goal difference than Hull have ended up getting into the playoffs. But no, and he's right. Enjoy it, and you just wait and see what happens. Think Hull will be quite happy that they've probably avoided. I think if you're Hull, Southampton, Middlesbrough, and Millwall are all tough games. But
Well, I have to say, do you think Hull would have missed out if VR came in and actually saw McBurn's goal was offside?
Well, yeah. I mean, I suppose. Well, if they get promoted, they'll deal with that in the Prem. But we'll see on that one. Do you guys want to quickly talk about maybe Southampton's game? Just because obviously they finished 4th.
Yeah,
not much from a Preston perspective, but like from Southampton's point of view, pretty important just to get the second leg at home.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad actually. A really good win for Southampton, and especially it was a good, to win 3-1. I know that calamity with the goalkeeper,
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I think they are. Yeah, I think Southampton are looking confident already for this weekend against Middlesbrough as well. I think, they needed to go to the Forum after the disappointing draw against Ipswich last week, and I think they needed to get that win to start getting confident. Because, like I said, they don't want to do what your team did last season, Michael. Finish on a limb. I think these teams wanted to finish on a high.
I don't know. I think Southampton would take that, finishing on a limb, and then end up winning the playoffs. I think they probably would.
They did that towards the season before when they're
entering it in much better form this time, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in more better form this time, and I think that's what they did the season before that as well. When they beat, when it came to Leeds on the last day, it was pretty much they were on really good form. So that's why I'm thinking they're ready for the playoffs, and no doubt about it. And I think with Preston, I expected they were going to go down this season, and it proved me wrong with that one quite well. But I think for them to have a bit of a dip, a really huge dip in form the second half of the season, when they were in the top half of that first half, he's been disappointed, especially they finished level on points behind Paul Heckenbaugh's former club, Sheffield United. So really disappointed for them that there could have been, we thought there was something good was going to happen, but it's tough for them. But I think for Southampton, being finishing 4th, level on points from Middlesbrough, ahead of goal difference, I think that gives them a bit of a raised edge ahead of that game against them. And I think Middlesbrough will know what they have to play for, especially they had after a good start with Kehelber. I think Southampton finished higher the way they've got to the FA Cup semi-final as well, which they should have got to the final.
Yeah, they're very lucky.
I think they're buoyed to get back to Wembley if, hopefully again in a couple of weeks' time.
I think, to be fair, you're right to point out the FA Cup run, because Southampton, for me, were excellent. Well, remember, we watched it, didn't we? I was in Edinburgh with you and Doug. We were in the Boston bar, I think it was, watching all the games. And Southampton were outstanding. I think when they took the lead, I was like, you know what? Fair play on them. Felt gutted for them, actually, that they lost it, because they really didn't deserve it. But I think they can take a lot of heart from that, though. When you look at the fact that they end up beating Arsenal in the quarterfinals for St. Mary's.
Of course, yeah.
And I think they'll take huge confidence from that. And I think the last league defeat there, as one of you guys said, I think it was Hull. I think it was Annie who said that. Hull in January, I think it was.
At home, yeah.
So Southampton's run has just been astonishing. And I think it's a weird one, because then it makes you think, they finished like 3 points off second in the end. So it just makes you wonder about just how... 4 points off second in the end. It just makes you wonder if they started the season well enough. I suppose they can take comfort back. Even if they'd beaten Ipswich, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because Ipswich would have gone on to win on the final game regardless. But yeah, I suppose you could say Southampton can have Bristol City to thank for that, not because obviously they got a draw against them a couple of weeks back. But yeah, I mean, my gut says Southampton win this, I think. But maybe that's the parachute payment bias talking. But I don't know. I think Southampton's run has been phenomenal. And I think if you are Southampton, you're looking at this and going, we're the only parachute team in this. And I would say that even a Millwall-Southampton final, I think if I was Southampton, I'd be disappointed not to win it. But It's not an easy game by any means, but like Andy mentioned before, it's a tasty two-legged semi-final that they have against Middlesbrough, and particularly with the first leg being at the Riverside, and the atmosphere for both legs will be bouncing and rocking. And Southampton might have a point to prove as well, because obviously Middlesbrough beat them 4-0 at the Riverside and battered them completely.
I reckon that's going to be really close.
I agree. I think it will be.
I think it's going to be. Seriously, I think it's all going to come down to the second leg. I think the first leg is going to be very nip and tuck for all teams involved. I think the Middlesbrough-Southampton game has the potential to be a draw in the first leg, or whichever way it is. And then I think in the second leg, could it go all the way to a penalty shootout? It's possible. It's highly possible. Because don't forget, we've got that equation too. If it's a draw after 90 minutes in both legs, it goes to extra time and then possibly penalties. So, could it go the way? It easily could go the way.
I'm going to be very keen to watch this and see how both teams set up, because, like I said, I think there's more technical quality in this game than there is in Hull Millwall. Not saying that there isn't any technical quality in those teams, but I think you've got Middlesbrough, who've got, and bear in mind for Middlesbrough, Morgan Whittaker being back as well. That's massive. I don't know what Hayden Hackney's situation's like.
I think he might be back.
Do you think it's a case then that they kind of thought, right, top two's probably not happening, so let's save Hackney for the playoffs? In which case, I would imagine would be fairly sensible. But then I just look at Southampton. I just think that the level of, like you say, you got Stewart there, you got Harwood Bellis there, you got Flynn Downs there. There's countless other examples of players that they do have that are just insane in terms of quality. But yeah, it's an interesting. In a way, I'm actually quite happy this is a playoff semi, because I think these two legs are going to be. It's got the potential to be classic. So, like Stefan says, watch both of them be 0-0 draws, and then it's settled by a penalty shootout. But I've got a feeling that Saturday's got like a 2-2 draw or something, like all over it. I can see it being. I'd be surprised if it ended goalless. Put it that way.
And I know what you're saying about Hull lads as well, but I just think Alex Neil's got the edge over Jurkovic in terms of.
I think that'll prove to be the difference.
Managing a team in the playoffs, and I think Millwall's going to win both legs. I'm not going to say it's going to be comfortable for them, but I just think they're going to win both legs.
I'll tell you what then. I think I'll put a wild prediction there. I think Millwall win 3-1 on Friday night, but the third goal being like a 90th minute breakaway sort of goal.
Yeah.
And then I can see Hull winning like 2-1 in the second leg, weirdly, but Millwall still have done the job in the first leg.
Yeah.
It's the type of thing I can see happening, because again with Millwall, you can see them winning big games away from home, like really big games, and have got that in them. But again, if it's a draw for Millwall and for Southampton in their in their away games, I think if you offered both sets of fans now, they'd probably take it.
Oh yeah, they will take it at the moment as well. I would agree with that. I think it's going to be just a weekend. We're watching these games as well, so. And
surprise, there's only one playoff spot left to talk about now.
Well, two technically, because we've still got Derby missing out. Stefan's like, good, yeah, let's go to Derby. Let's forget the other game.
We'll go to Derby, we'll get Stefan's, and then after that we'll talk about the rest as well. So, yeah, fortunately, Derby had a chance to also try and get the place, but they lost 2-1 to Sheffield United. Smollett scored in the 5th minute until Tom Cannons and Peck. Also, sorry, I've had a bit of a long day, especially through the holiday.
Sammy Smoddick scored in the first 5 minutes, and
I seen me Peck scored in the 69th minute, before the end of in the second half. But again, I saw Chris Waller was in Edinburgh tonight. Was watching the Hearts Rangers game. He was with Steve Clark tonight up in the crowd.
Could maybe be scouting someone. Who knows?
Yeah, I was going to say, why is he there? But
do you know what I think? I've got a feeling that's got Lawrence Shanklin going to Sheffield United written all over that.
Oh,
it would not surprise me. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I hope for his sake he stays at Hearts and helps them win the. I hope for his sake.
Shannon's got 2.5 years left on his contract.
Well, it's going to be 2, isn't it? By like June, isn't it?
June.
Yeah. What about Cammy Devlin though?
Well, Cammy's not a lot of games this season, so I think there is a chance he could go. He could go as well. So I
I'll tell you what, for an interest,
there, boy.
I'll tell you what then, right? I'm keen to see what you guys think about this. So I'm looking at Sheffield United starting 11. It's because Gosama's in this team. That's why I'm saying it. I'm looking at Sheffield United starting 11 before we quickly talk about Derby, because I think John Eustace has generally done a very good job at Derby this season, even though they have fell short. There's a lot of promise there with the quality that they do have. Quickly, by the way, is Sammy Smolik on loan from Ipswich, or is it a permanent?
Yeah,
right, okay. Well, in terms of Sheffield United, though, I want to quickly go through their starting 11 and say
actually, no. The reason why Chris Wilder was there, because Chris Wilder's got good mates in there, so that's why he went to the game. So,
well, as he said to Sheffield Wednesday, their season's done. So therefore, you can just go and do whatever. Really, you can just go and have a bit of a chill out time a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I was going to say was, right, if I'm looking at this starting 11, now bear in mind, okay, I'm not going to say Adam Davis will be there next season as starting keeper, because Michael Cooper will be if he's still fit, if he's fit. But I'm looking at the outfield. So you've got Serki, Tanganga, McGuinness, Burrows. This midfield's a pretty good midfield. Hamer, Peck, Arblaster, and O'Hare, and then you've got Cannon and Bamford.
Well, Arblaster's going to stay because technically he just realised because he's actually going out with Wilder's daughter, and he's going to be a grandfather. So
imagine that. Oh, Gaffer, by the way, you're going to be a granddad. Yeah, that would be an awkward conversation, wouldn't it? But what I was going to mention was, what do you guys think about for Sheffield United next season? Because I've said before that I think it's going to be an interesting one with them no longer being a parachute payment club. But I think Annie mentioned it before, and I would agree that, I think it was Annie who said that you'd still expect Sheffield United to be able to recruit well enough to be able to compete, certainly at least in the top 8. But the problem I think they're going to have is I could see Gustavo Hamer being sold, because I think they could get a fair amount of money for him because he's got a year left. Callum O'Hare's not done too bad stats-wise this season from what I can remember, unless I've remembered a purple patch and he's had a really poor season. But they got Peck. You got Peck, Arblaster, Cannon, Bamford, like Tanganga, Burrows. That's good players in this team. And I just wouldn't.
It's a decent midfield, Michael, but do you think Gustavo Hamer could go back to Coventry?
No,
I think Coventry would need to target better.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see a Wolves, someone like that. A Wolves or a Burnley. I could see one. It depends who they get, really. I can see a parachute team going for Gustavo Hamer. I just mean that I think Sheffield United will recognise he's got a year left, and therefore will want to get some money for him. Because let's be honest, his injury fitness record isn't the best, is it?
No, it's very poor. Yeah.
So I think if they got, say, 7-8 million, if they get anywhere near that, I think they go, yeah, you take that. Because there's a non-parachute club, you have to do that, and then you have to be able to reinvest accordingly. Or, dare I say, here's an unsung shout, Gustavo Hamer to Wrexham. Who knows? Weirdly, I could see that happening. All right, Stefan, say if there was a chance for you to sign Gustavo Hamer for, say, 7 million quid or something, or 8 million, do you take it? Because his quality's there, but it's dependent on fitness, isn't it?
Yeah, because when he plays, he's good. But when he gets injured, he gets injured for a long period of time. So it's a risk. And is it a risk you're willing to take? You'd have to do a pros and cons list, I think. And straight away the cons would be injury time.
I think as well, though, the weird thing is, if he was 100% fit, he probably wouldn't be playing at Sheffield United.
No.
Which is a weird thing. But he's a good player. I really do rate him. I think there is a good... Annie, what do you think? I think there's a good base of a Sheffield United team here to build around for next season, as long as the recruitment's good. And I think I think Wilder, weirdly, is probably a good fit for this situation because they haven't got the extra funds, if you know what I mean, because they don't have parachute payments anymore.
Yeah, Wilder said, didn't he? Because he said a few times that he'll make a load of changes in the summer. The owners know that, etc., etc. So I expect there to be huge movement in and out. Their recruitment last summer was a complete mess, wasn't it? They started
AI recruitment.
The AI recruitment started, and then they had a bad start, and then they started signing players like Danny Ings and Ben Mee and people like that. You know, just Ben Godfrey. You know, sort of proven championship players, good
Yeah.
players by their own standards, but sort of proven, not some random right back from the Bulgarian division who's not played yet. So, yeah, don't think Wilder will allow that. Don't think Wilder wouldn't want that either. So, I think I think they'll be good next season. Sheffield United, they're a strong team for this division anyway, like naturally.
Yeah.
And with Wilder, he knows United like the back of his hand. They'll have a good summer recruitment, and they'll get it right. I think.
I think it's a stable pre-season as well, where it's not like, because remember the start of the season was all disjointed from Sheffield United's point of view. Because obviously,
Especially the start of Ruben Sellers coming in.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Sellers coming in. Obviously, they had. Obviously, what was it? He didn't even get a single point, did he?
No.
For Sheffield United.
No.
So, I think that's going to be critical to their chances. I think if they have a decent, good summer, stable pre-season, and I think they'll have a lot of the, in a weird way. This is going to sound really strange, but in a weird way, I think the season ending the way it has, could be a good thing. Because at least it gives them clarity on what, and Chris Wilder in particular, clarity on what he needs ahead of next season and what the club want to do in the summer. And then once you do that, you're then kind of halfway there, I think, unless your recruitment's exceptionally terrible. So, and Sheffield United should be a big attraction at this level to be able to attract some good players. So, I'm fascinated to see what they do in the summer ahead of next season. And I would say the same for Derby as well. I think Derby. They've got that. Obviously, they'll have to try and get Sammy Smodics back. But look, I wouldn't be surprised if he's back there again. Well, actually, wouldn't be surprised if he signs there permanently. To be honest,
It's not just him; it's the likes of Sammy Smodics, Bobby Clark, Brent Diaz, Jaden Bannell.
Yeah,
they've had quite a few sort of very good loans, very obviously good loans. The moment they stepped in, you could tell that's going to work because Eustace. But yeah, and it's they've somehow managed to pretty much most of their loans, apart from Bano, who's a bit more unknown. Diaz, Smodics, Bobby Clark, sort of high quality championship players, and they've managed to sign them in on loan. Their squad building's been really good this season. Derby, they've moved on from their League One team under Paul Horne. Had a refresh in the summer, signed a load of players. Eustace players. I think I'd have them as one of the favourites to finish in the top 8 next season. I really would.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. I think particularly if Southampton win the playoffs, because then you've gotten rid of all the parachute teams in one go, haven't you? Because Sheffield United aren't a parachute team anymore. Leicester in League One, and then Ipswich and Southampton back in the Prem. So if there's 8 teams, 8 places for grabs, and you've got 3 teams coming down, that's 5 places. Like, it's going to be a really open next season. I wouldn't be surprised if both of these clubs finish in the top 8 next season. At the very least, they're challenging for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. Yep.
Right, sorry, Stefan.
That's all right.
Don't think we should allow Stefan to talk. I think we should.
I think you're right. I think it's just between the 3 of us discussing this. Well,
yeah.
So Wrexham was 6th to start with, and then they threw it away.
Here we go.
And then that's basically it. They threw it away.
Can you tell Stefan's been waiting for this since Saturday?
If there are any Wrexham fans actually watching this, I don't mean it. By the way, I'm just taunting.
Yes.
I don't actually mean it. I did a very good job over the course of the season, but for the purposes of the next 5 minutes
of getting payback for Stefan's
very funny.
I don't think you quite made that clear, Annie. Okay, right. I think, to be fair, Middlesbrough's a tough game.
Yes.
I think it's safe to say. I think that would. I think certainly Wrexham and Hull had a particularly tough game, but I would say Wrexham had the toughest out of the 3 in the final day. I think the way I said it in the group chat is, I think let's take out the fact that Wrexham haven't finished in the playoffs. Right? Let's put this from a different angle. I think Wrexham, if you look at this period of time they've had under Rob Edwards, Rob McElhenney, and Phil Parkinson, right?
Yeah.
The useless muppet. But anyway, if you take into account, I saw smirk there, Stefan. Good to know my despair at the time is Stefan's joy. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about with Wrexham. I think that next season, there's a process of building a team that is going to be challenging as long as the missing jigsaw pieces are going to be in place. And I've said before, you're looking at players like, again, Callum Doyle. I don't know what happened with the Concours. I don't know whether Concours will come back, but you're looking at Callum Doyle. We'll see. Callum Doyle, Ollie Rathbone, Josh Windass, Nathan Broadhead, Kiefer Moore, just name a few of them. George Dobson stepped up the Championship, and fair play to him for that. There's quality there, and I think they're going to be Lewis O'Brien being another one as well. Ben Sheaf. There is players there that will. I'd be staggered if Wrexham were not at least in the top 9-10 next season, and I think that. Obviously, the question for me, the big question mark, is Phil Parkinson. And I don't mean that he's done a poor job this year, because he hasn't. You still had to gel all of these new signings in together. But I just think if you're Wrexham looking to get into the Premier League, I do think a step up needs to happen in terms of who's in the dugout.
Well,
and by the way, Stefan, Parky absolutely should be praised and heralded for what he's done. I don't give a crap if anyone tells me, well, he had the biggest budgets in the leagues, therefore. Oh, I'm sorry. Try telling that to Leicester City. Try telling that to Leicester City fans this season.
No.
And despite their situations, their budget will not have been crap, and they've got relegated.
No.
So, if you want to look at another example, look at Sunderland's first year in League One. The budget Sunderland had should have been finishing in top of the league by a mile. Didn't happen. Spending money does not always equate to success. So Wrexham had to do that, and they've had to. And what they've successfully done is I don't mean this in the wrong way, but they've sort of returned the squad and constantly moved the squad up the levels that they've needed to. And I think this season, 7th is a very good finish for Wrexham. It's disappointing, obviously, as missing out will be. I think it is a good season, and I think next season it will offer a good platform to build for what they want to do. But the big question mark for me is, and Stefan can tell me if I'm wrong on this, Reynolds and McElhenney need to think, is Phil Parkinson trusted to be the man to beat? But because let's look at it this way: if they finish in the playoffs, let's say Southampton win the playoffs. If they're going to finish in the playoffs, there is a good chance that the 3 parachute clubs could be straight at the top, as long as they all don't have a Leicester. That means if 2 of them finish in the top 2, you're going to come up against at least one of them potentially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think Parkinson, my worry would be, Parky tactically can get outdone in certain moments. Yeah. As well as he's done, if he left, you can say, as well as he's done, it might be now time to make the step up.
Well, I already said in our WhatsApp chat that there needs to be fresh blood in that dugout for next season. As you've said, Michael, and as I've said, take nothing away from the job Parky has done for Wrexham, right?
And no one should.
He's done an absolutely fantastic job taking them from National League to the Championship. Back to back. Whatever, exactly. Right? But there does need to be fresh blood in that dugout for the 26-27 season and beyond. I think that in some ways, Parky's style of play, it's a bit like an old dinosaur. The last dinosaur on Earth is Parky. And some of his tactical announces this season have just been baffling to me. But at the same time, we've got results because we finished 7th. But I did notice for the last 2 games, he has dropped Big Arthur and he's stuck Danny Ward in goal. Now, I don't know if that's just to give Danny Ward minutes, well, actually is, because he's not had very many this season, or whether he's thinking about moving players on in the summer, as Wrexham generally do at the end of every season. They have a big, massive clear, and they get the same number of players in. So, say it was 10 players out, it would be 10 new players in to cover those positions. And I think that's what Rob and Ryan have done really well at the end of every season, is they've said, thank you for your service. We wish you all the best in your future with our best wishes. but sadly, you're not going to be making the step up with us. And that's the only reason I think we've had the back is because for every week we've gone into, be it League 2, League 1, Championship, whatever, we've always spent well to get players that know the league to come and play for us.
Do you think that they'll change head coach in the summer? I don't think they will. I think they'll stick with Parky, personally.
Okay,
we'll see.
So you say they'll stick with Parky. I think they'll change. Annie?
I think they'll stick.
Carl?
I'm leaning towards a little bit stick. I think, why would you change for someone? And when you change your mind, just to get you promoted. I know if you do like a commentary, for example, for what they did with Marco and Chase for that bad, it can go either way. Yes, it's worked for commentary, but I think at this point you just stick with him.
Okay, say they stuck. We all know Wrexham's going to buy players like nothing on them. They're probably going to buy about 10 or 15 new players and bring them in over the season. If they stick with Parky, do you think we're gonna have enough tactical nouns to make the top 6? Or do you think that if we had fresh blood, it would be a push for automatic promotion rather than just the top 6?
I think automatic promotion would be very hard. It depends entirely for me on the state of the teams coming down.
Of course.
So I think, let's put Wolves is kind of a bit interesting, really, because although Wolves have had a shocking season, they've also got they've got Adam Armstrong, for example. Now, at championship level, he is going to be one of the best strikers of that division by a mile. You're looking at Burnley. I think I could see them losing 1 or 2 players, but I think the bulk of their squad
New manager as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. It depends who they get as their new head coach. A lot of it depends on that. I think out of Tottenham, I think it probably is going to be between Tottenham and West Ham. So whichever one of them comes down. Right, let's say Tottenham stay up for a second, right?
So stupid, isn't it? Tottenham or West Ham.
I know. But let's say, for example, right? Let's say Tottenham stay up, and let's say it's West Ham. West Ham at that level, yes, they'll lose players, but they're going to be ridiculous at the championship level.
Yeah.
And I think so I think it will be very hard. I think at the minute, even with Parky there, even if let's take the relegated, right? I'm guessing for Stefan's interest, I think you're best off wanting Southampton to win the playoffs and get another parachute team out of the championship. So then you've only got 3 to think about next season.
Yeah, get me with the road.
Yeah, but I also think, right, let's say Southampton win the playoffs. I can see a situation where because Millwall have quite a few key loan players, don't they?
Yeah.
Or at least a couple of them. I think it's Watson and Patterson. I'm trying to think of who else have they got. Have they got anyone else on loan?
Ballo, I think, is on loan, but he's not really been key. He's been a good player for them. But
I guess it depends then, because I would say Wrexham's financial situation seems to be better than Millwall's.
Millwall are smart though. Millwall are good with
their that's the thing though. I think for me, what Wrexham might have the advantage of is that they don't have to. I think last summer they would have had to have signed a fair few players to recognise that the gap from League One to the it's not as big as the Championship to the Prem, but I would say there is a gap between League One and the Championship, and I think Wrexham had to address that. This summer, I don't think they're going to have to do that as much. I think they've got a core that's there already. They just need to add the bits to the jigsaw that's appropriate to what they want. So let's say, for example, goalkeeper, and I'm not just mentioning it because obviously he's on loan at Millwall, but say Millwall didn't go up, I could see Wrexham signing Anthony Patterson, for example, who's someone who's been in the playoffs the last 2 seasons, who made critical saves in the Championship playoff final. That's the type of signing I can see Wrexham making, for example. Go on, Danny.
You know, Wrexham's transfer recruitment strategy has always been experienced, or not like 35 like Jalen.
No, but someone who's experienced but still long to grow at the same time.
Yeah. Like
Callum Doyle being good.
Callum Doyle, Dom Hyam, people who are season champion, Zach Vine, season championship veterans. I don't think they're gonna try and change a lot. I don't know if that's the silly thing to suggest because I think
Yeah.
they've
No, I
done.
don't think so.
They've
Yeah.
done. I think there are a few key positions they need to look at. Goalkeeper being one of them. What does Parkinson want? Does he want a Conquo? Does he want more? Does he want a new one? That will
Yeah,
be.
I don't think he'll
also-
want to go into next season with Danny Waters as number one.
I think
No.
he'll want another forward or two. Don't think he's fully trusting of whatever's going on up there with Sam Smith and Kiefer Moore. Josh Windass has proved to be an excellent signing.
His goal against Middlesbrough was just
Yeah, I think that midfield is pretty decent. I think that Issa Kabore, I think it will be a miss if he
he'll
doesn't
go
come
back to Man City.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he'll go back to Man City. And
But again, another example is like signing someone like Josh Windass on a free as well.
Yeah,
That's a pretty smart bit of business.
even not even Windass. So if I'm saying purely from other Championship clubs, Dom Hyam, Nathan Broadhead, Kiefer Moore, Zach Viner, four there who are just sort of proper Championship, know the division, played tons and tons of games for their respective clubs, and just quality. I think they'll do that again. And we saw with Ipswich when they came down, they had a pretty bloated squad, so there will be some good players who may not be good enough to play regularly for team right near the top. So Ipswich, Smodix, Chaplin, Nathan Broadhead, Luke Wolfenden, etc. Really good Championship players who are more than capable of playing right near the top, but just aren't quite good enough for those year one parachute teams. Something like that will happen again with Wolves, with Burnley, definitely, maybe even West Ham and Tottenham if they come down. So those are the sort of players I think Wrexham have been targeting, and those players will be available in the window again.
Do you know who I would have loved to have seen in a Wrexham trip if we were able to get him on a free, but Millwall got him instead? Barry Bannon.
I think, yeah, I can see so. Well, okay, Stephen, let me flip this then. What positions do you think Wrexham need to strengthen if you're wanting to at least finish in the top 8 next season?
Okay, goalkeeper for me. Akongo's been good, but there's been moments this season where he's cost us a couple of goals when he could easily came for balls.
Yeah.
And he dropped them like hot potatoes. Definitely on the wing if Issa Kabore goes back to Man City, which is looking highly likely. We need to strengthen his position. I would say we could do with. Yep, I would say goalkeeper, couple of wingers, and do you see a striker? Bear in mind we've got Windass, who's an attacking midfielder / striker, Sam Smith and Broadhead. I mean, I could see it, but we don't need a striker per se. I would say our defence is pretty packed with Doyle, Viner, and Kabore, but he's gone back.
Clewith, Hyam.
Yeah, Max Clewith. One player who I'm a bit disappointed in, and I don't know if it's because of an injury or what, but we signed the Jamaican boy, Camaraderie, and he's not had much game time at all.
You mean Bailey Calamatri, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he could be out the door, but I'm not sure.
He's only 20, so he's not had a lot of games, especially he only played 3 games in the season. So but he's only 20. He's still got.
Here's a total left field one, and Cal hates it when I do this because he knows it's going to be about the managerial position. But if Parkinson was to be relieved of his duties and a certain ex-player doesn't go where we think he's going to go in the Championship, could you see him ending up down in Wales?
Is it someone who's known for going, yeah, of course?
Again, I don't. Well, Gerard is listen. I think
Be
yes.
careful, Carl. Annie's looking very intently at you here.
Yes, I know, Annie. I said this to him. I said this to Stefan on Friday about this. I told him about this. So let me have a say.
Nah, just if I offer my 2 cents, I don't think he ends up here. I think he gets the Burnley job if they want him. If Burnley want Gerrard, they'll get him. I think they do.
Is that him or senior at the moment with Burnley? Well,
Senior, really? Do you think he drops down to the Championship?
well,
He's not going to get anyone in the Premier League, I don't think.
I think he'll get something in the Prem, surely.
No,
I think it ended disastrously at Chelsea. I don't think it's going to be.
But you've got the Chelsea asterisk, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the thing. So would you just go back down to the Championship and do it again, try and get teams promoted?
Possibly.
So he's got that option there, but
I agree with Carl. I could see Rosinha very well dropping down to a parachute payment Championship side personally.
So, yeah.
But hey, if I'm wrong, then Annie's got every right to say I told you so.
He's right.
I do that a lot anyway, so
well, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. yeah, you do. Right, let's move on from that. Let's get to finish off in the short back with the Wolves game because we've been on for nearly 2 hours. So I think all of us want to go to our beds soon.
All right, I'll tell you what. How about this next one? Do you want to maybe talk about Sheffield Wednesday getting a home win and obviously the takeover being officially announced?
Finally, yeah.
And the 15-point deduction being scrapped as well. Well done.
Good for them. They genuinely deserve a break.
Yeah, I know that 50-point deduction overturn was pissed off a few Championship clubs, but there's a reason why. There's a reason why for that. If the previous owner refused to cooperate, what you're supposed to do is mitigate circumstances.
But right, so what is it? Are they pissed off that there wasn't a bigger point deduction for Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah.
They got minus 20 odd points.
I think the frustration is why was the 15-point deduction next season scrapped, and I think it was down to Chancery's just pure unwillingness to talk to potential owners, and I think that was the reason. The EFL sort of recognised that and went, you know what, okay, we won't give you that points deduction because the previous owner. Okay, he did X, he did X, Y, and Z whilst owning Sheffield Wednesday, but when it was properly time to sort of negotiate a sale, he was making it. Yeah, he made it.
Do they mean League One clubs are annoyed about this?
No,
it's League One clubs. I get it, but
Rob Dawson said that to Sky. It was the Championship clubs.
I just don't get what difference is that going to make for a lot of Championship clubs next season. Sheffield Wednesday are going to be in League One.
I think it's just a case of it's not been implemented sort of.
It's
not consistent, is it?
So as in they're going to go, well, hang on a minute, Sheffield Wednesday got away with this, so why can't... Right, okay. I get in that sense. I just think when it comes to the points, League One clubs to me have more right to be annoyed at this than...
Because the standards of League One and Championship, I think, are different. I'm not an expert on League One, but I think they are different in terms of that side of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the big story here. Well, first of all, I actually was quite happy when I saw they won this game because I wanted them to at least not end on minus points, and that was actually
the other team now are now finishing 0 points for the first time in.
I do think though that this season was always about off the pitch stuff, and again, credit to I've said this before, but I'll keep it brief. Fair play to every single Sheffield Wednesday fan that's gone home and away this season, given how dreadful it's been in all fronts. But I do think, like I said at the start of the season, I think if they would take this, if they got a new ownership and Chancery finally went, because I think there was only really so long for me that Chancery, even if Sheffield Wednesday kept staying in the Championship, it just gets more and more toxic. And actually, in a way, relegation means he was probably more likely to go, which sounds bizarre, but that's kind of how I sort of foresee the situation. But I don't think West Brom will care too much. They already were. They were leaved just to avoid the drop. And they've got the Black Country Derby to look forward to next season, I suppose. But I think with Sheffield Wednesday, I think it's good to see that. I mean, the atmosphere before the game was immense. When you look,
everyone dressed in with the low hours and stuff.
Sold out, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And fair enough to them. I think that, like I said, they've deserved a break. They've had enough. It's one of those things, it's like the Simpsons meme. Go, stop beating someone; they're already dead. That's kind of how it feels like with Sheffield Wednesday a bit this season.
175 days in administration. Yeah,
exactly. So I think obviously next season, at the bare minimum, stabilize. I could see if they recruit well, because a club of Sheffield Wednesday size in that division It should be in the Championship actually, but in League One especially, they should be able to attract some top talent in the League One standard sort of hemisphere. And I do think that they probably can do so. I don't think there's any reason Sheffield Wednesday couldn't finish playoffs, but it all depends on what summer they're going to have. But I think the most important thing is they've got hope for the future now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's... yeah, sorry, go on, Andy.
Well, the news is, so Sky did review earlier, so the offer remains on the Sheffield Championship Series. It's worth £7. It will be paid if Wednesday achieve promotion back to the Championship in their first attempt. So after that, they don't have to pay him back. So they will pay him back at the first attempt, which they're only giving to at least £16 million back to him. So
I was just going to touch on West Brom and say they don't care, do they? So
no,
that's it on West Brom. They don't care. They're safe. They've done brilliantly before this, so I'm not sure.
And James Morrison's got the job permanently as well.
That's
on a 2-year deal. Yeah.
And John Percy, who is the Midlands expert, has also said they want Danny Imre on a permanent, which doesn't surprise me one bit. The bloke is absolute quality, and I called it as much when he had that mid-season switch from Blackpool to West Brom. Unbelievable player, like genuinely brilliant. So if West Brom get him on a permanent, that's some serious business there.
Let's just say, though, although James Morrison's done really well, it's not been a good season for West Brom.
No,
it's been a very, very poor season. Not quite Leicester City level bad. I feel like I'm pitting on Leicester a lot here, but they do deserve it.
Close. It's close, mine.
Yeah, but they weren't shit enough to be on their level of bad. So, at least they ended the season well. So, but make no mistake, West Brom should be much closer to the top 8 next season than bottom 3, because I think Annie in particular has gone over their squad. There's some good players in this team, and there are
in the top 6. Easy.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I just think so. I think for where they were, and remember, there was a point 6 weeks ago, even 2 months ago, where they looked hopelessly dead and buried. There was genuinely a conversation about Leicester and West Brom joining Sheffield Wednesday. So I think it's massive. It's great for them that they've stayed up. Just hopefully it's a bit of a warning and a lesson learned for next season.
Yeah.
As Annie says, they're not going to care. The day kind of belonged to Sheffield Wednesday, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
No, agree as well. A really good, positive aim for Sheffield Wednesday to get their first home with the season as well, which is vital as well too. So, and at least they didn't finish up on minus points in the EFL. That would have been really sad. So, no, I appreciate really good for Sheffield Wednesday to get that as well. Look at the overall results as well. Probably want to finish off. Addy, should we go with your Bristol City finishing off with the season with the 2-0 against Stoke City under Roy Hodgson's last game? Give us a forward. Where do you go forward now after Hodgson's interim spell in charge? What's the next plan?
I can't wait for Andy to spin a 2-0 win into something really, really negative.
Delano Bergsall scores. This shows how bad the game was. Put it that way.
Is it how bad Stoke have dropped off?
Oh, they were terrible as well.
They were terrible.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that away game at the Bet365 like it was yesterday, and they were utterly brilliant, like genuinely brilliant, and they sharpened put that performance in on Saturday. Just 2 teams on the beach. I mean, what can you say? It doesn't matter. Both teams had chances. We had some big chances. Scott Twine missed one. Scott Twine did like the most Championship thing of all time, where he nicked the ball off Sorba Thomas, skinned Ashley Phillips, like absolutely left him for dead, and then free inside the 6-yard box, he decided to blaze it onto the roof of the net, onto the roof of the stand. Sorry. So just a game that's just happened. I mean, it doesn't matter. What next? Hire a new manager, please. We think the new sporting director's in the building and working. And myself and I have advocated for a certain Pompey manager who I would think is the perfect fit at this moment in time. We think the new sporting director is James Ellis, who is former Arsenal technical director. And I think I put a message in the group chat the other day where he signed quite a few sort of high profile players in recent years for Arsenal. He only left last February, I think, if I'm remembering rightly. So This guy's clearly got pedigree. If he can get a good manager in, get everything aligned, get the new manager in soon, and I mean next few weeks, we'll be well in time for the season. So no, good win, but don't care just about the new manager.
Do you think then that? So do you think there's a chance that John Messino comes?
Yeah,
because I think you have a bigger budget to work with than Portsmouth, don't you?
It's Messino said before the Birmingham game he was going to have talks with the Eisners, the Pompey owners, and talk about you know how that sort of crunch talks go, the ambition and stuff like that. And he came out on the other side of that and sort of backpedaled a little bit and went, "Oh, we weren't actually discussing my future. We were just talking about general things about the football club." And we were like, "Okay, John, we don't whatever you say, mate." So I would not be surprised if he's the new Bristol City manager. Put it that way.
That'd be a very good appointment if you get him. By the way,
I'll be humble enough to admit that I don't think we should be a bigger pool than Pompey. But
in terms of club size, I would agree.
At this moment in time, Pompey are, I'd say we're relatively, we're not that far off. And I don't think Pompey have to do much to sort of surpass us. Not that anyone has to do much to surpass us. We're sitting duck. But there is opportunity. There is a real opportunity for Bristol City Football Club to get promoted. Like, this is, and I've said it millions of times. A city that's never got Premier League football, a squad, a training ground, facilities, everything ready for the Premier League. It is just waiting for one good season to just get there. One good recruitment sort of summer window, ambition, a bit of backing for the manager, and we will get there. Like, it's unfunny how sort of ready we're. Everything's geared up, apart from the actual on-pitch stuff where we decide to sell our two best players in the middle of the season. So I think there's an incredibly attractive job for anyone who wants it, or anyone who's offered it. Obviously, the names so far have been Steven Gerrard, John Messino, Steve Cooper, which I'm interested about, Russell Martin. Whenever I see such a wide range of names, I know it's early on in the sort of recruitment process, and the rumours are still going, but you always get a little bit concerned over, do they actually know what they want? Are they just seeing good Championship managers, sort of throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks? Hopefully not, but hopefully they have a clear idea. Hopefully they have a clear identity of what they want to do. But no, I'd take Messino. And in fact, I want Messino. John Messino is the manager I would like. And I think we've got the pull to get him away from Pompey if those talks with the Eisners come back as, we're not going to give you X, Y, and Z, John. We're just going to give you this and a little bit of that, but not quite what you want. And if Messino doesn't get what he wants at Pompey, he'll leave, and we'll be knocking on the door, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think even with that though, I actually made a joke in our private stream chat on here about Anis Mehmeti returning to Ashton Gate on loan. Now Ipswich have got promoted, and it might seem laughable, but are Ipswich going to view Mehmeti as good enough for the Premier League?
Surely not, no.
So that's going to open. That's kind of what I mean. This is going to open up opportunities later on in the window, and it's a sad state of affairs, but Championship clubs will probably do a lot of these businesses in the last couple of weeks because then Prem squads want to get their squads sorted out and everything. Obviously, before we got promoted, we were in that situation. But I think if you're looking at the Anis Mehmeti, okay, I know your owners talk about, we should be grateful and all this other bollocks, but like, you're looking at the play, even though selling Viner and Mehmeti, example, would have been gut wrenching in January, surely that leaves you at least a little bit of manoeuvring for the swim this summer. It's got to. Surely, if you want them to have any semblance of ambition, it's got to.
I thought that after Alex Scott got sold, and
well, yeah, true.
Bugger all's happened since. To be fair, Alex Scott might get sold this window, and then we might get a sort of windfall from that, hopefully. But no, you'd think so. But you know what? I think we might spend this window, not because of what you said, Michael, but because I think Steve Lansdown's going to really be hurting from all the chants against him, all the criticism he's faced over the season, and I think he's going to go, you know what, I want to prove you guys wrong. So you might go big two fingers up to the fans and say screw you, and I'm back the manager. So in a perverse way, I'm going, oh no, please don't do that, and then actually back the manager. That would be nice, but maybe that's pipe dream.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this season was certainly an opportunity to build on getting into the playoffs, wasn't it? With everything that was. Well, yeah, you can do the.
That went well.
Yeah, well, it did. Yeah, doesn't change the point though. It still should have been seen as a huge opportunity. But again, if you get someone like a Mousinho, then Gerald Struber and Mousinho surely is an upgrade. You'd like to think, but we'll see.
Don't want to tell our fans that they don't.
Could be worse.
You know what? I'll keep my mouth shut and throw the key away.
Well, we'll see. Could get married man with 6 kids. Get him back get him back into management again.
The fact that I know who you're talking about is sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm on about, get Netflix and watch Still Until I Die. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, well, at least one. Well, I suppose is it the most Bristol City thing ever to say? Finished 12th again. The only difference now, I think, is that Stoke finished 17th rather than 16th, which is their regular staple position in the Championship.
Yeah.
You say, is it a surprise that we finished 12th? I actually don't think we finished 12th since we've been in the Championship.
I thought you said it was like the battle between Bristol City and Preston's like the battle always for 12th and 13th. And
it's well, to be fair, we normally finish about 13th and 14th. Never, I don't think 12th. I'm not sure. I think it's 8th, 16th, 17th, 11th.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
6th. It's been flirting with 12th, but not quite on 12th. You know?
So mid-table Championship nothingness, effectively.
Cheers, Mr. Lansdowne.
He's not disagreeing, so
No.
We'll see. It's the same for every club, but it's
really not.
Well, no, I was going to say it's the same for every club in terms of it's a big summer for every club because everyone's got different aspirations. But yeah.
Sorry,
We'll see how we look when it comes to the season preview.
Just quickly, Roy Hodgson's done brilliantly well to stabilise us because I did not know where our next point was coming from. So, genuinely really good job to come in, keep a few clean sheets, get some confidence back into the team, know that these group of players can actually play football instead of losing away to Port Vale. No disrespect to Port Vale, but these guys can play football. So he's done well, and he's gone off into the sunset with on a good note from Ashton Gate, which is a good thing because 44 years ago he did not leave on a good note. So I'm glad he's come back, and I'm glad he's done well because if he didn't, it would have looked really, really bad.
Do you think as well he just went into the dressing room and went, let's not take a piss here. I just had to get that in there one last time.
We'll get in one last time.
While he goes off into the sunset of retirement again.
All right. Right. Let's finish with the last 2 games and between Swansea and Cheltenham, as well as Birmingham City and Portsmouth. Well, let's look at
another game as well. Blackburn Leicester.
And Blackburn Leicester as well too. So
we'll through them in
we'll do double before we do Blackburn Leicester. Especially Birmingham and Swansea finished in the top half of the table, both level with 64 points. Was it a bit disappointing for Birmingham? We'll start with the Birmingham first briefly. Was it disappointing for them? They didn't challenge enough for the playoffs this season, especially there's been questions of Chris Davis. And for Swansea, Victor Mateos coming in during the season has stabilised. Do you think those teams will have a go next season challenging for the top 6?
Swansea will, as long as they don't do the whole end of season very well thing and then start next season crap again. If they get out of that cycle, then yes, there's no reason why they can't.
I agree with Michael. I think Swansea are going to. I think when we talk about Millwall as a dark horses, I think Swansea are watch out for them. They're going to be really good. And to be fair, I think I said that at the start of this season because I quite like their recruitment.
And look how well that went.
Yeah, not great, but no, I do think they're going to be good next season because Vitor Matos is bloody good manager. He's a really, really good manager.
Just quickly to mention it before we talk about Pompey Birmingham very quickly, we've got to say fair play to Nathan Jones. Kept Cardiff up. not Cardiff. Charlton. Yeah, it's for your club. Yeah, he's going to go to Cardiff next year, apparently. Yeah, well, we'll see. And actually, quickly, it'd be good to have Nathan back on this, actually, when we're quickly talking about Cardiff. Well done to them for getting promoted at the first time of asking. So, who knows? Stefan, there you go. You got Wrexham, Swansea, and Cardiff all in the same league next season. That's going to be fun.
You don't speak for me, Michael.
Hey, that's why I said Stefan, not Annie Harris. Yeah.
Well, when you said it's good to see them back, not
right.
Wrexham.
Well, Annie, if it makes you feel better, a lot of people said it'd be good to see Newcastle try and win the Premier League and try and win trophies. Not for me, it's not.
I know. Thank you.
So there you go. Like, at least your rivals haven't won the Carabao Cup last year. But anyway, moving on.
Listen, let that go. It's okay.
No, I can't let it go. I'm still fuming at Liverpool for that.
listen. This is what I've had to learn. All clubs can't do you favors when it comes to your rivals, right? That's something we've had to learn. So pretty much,
right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Some do, some don't. Okay. So
Let's put it this way, in the nicest way possible. Let's imagine if I said to Annie, Cardiff City will win the Carabao Cup in 10 years' time. Would he enjoy that?
No, I'm not bothered about Cardiff. No, just.
See, he's not bothered, but you're always bothered about Newcastle.
Yeah, of course I am. They're an arrogant bunch of tossers.
If you told me Rovers, then we're having a different conversation.
Thank you.
Right, Carl, let me put it this way. As a Leeds fan, who do you consider your main rivals?
It's bloody Manchester United and Chelsea.
Now, can you honestly tell me that you're happy any time they win a piece of silverware?
Fuck no.
Exactly. So point proven.
Yeah, but I don't go as further like you do. But
yes, because Man United are a club that should be winning silverware.
Yeah, I don't go for like you do, because especially your rivals half an hour up the road is a bit, so.
Carl, I was in League One for well, not me personally, but Sunderland were in League One for 4 years, back-to-back relegations. They became the richest club in the world, embarrassed us in the Derby and the Cup, finished in the Champions League twice, and won the Carabao Cup. I've had to stomach all of that for the space of the last decade.
Okay, then. Okay, compared to this, when Leeds got relegated into 03 or 04, Man United was still winning trophies. They won the Champions League was in League One. And also, and it got to the Champions League back to back a couple of times.
And the big difference is Man United are a massive global brand.
The season got promoted. We beat them in the FA Cup third round to knock them out at Old Trafford. So in a way, you're not going to get the both. You're not going to get the.
No, I know full well I'm not going to get the sympathy.
I've had to. Oh no, they're crap. No, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I didn't have anything to do with that.
But then again, 6 easy points are so never mind. Now moving on from to be fair though, but yeah, back on side. That's fine, Carl. I can see what you're saying, but Man United is still an elite club. Newcastle aren't. Anyway, so the point I'm getting at is that's Stefan then. So how does it feel for you knowing that you're going to have Wrexham, Swansea, and Cardiff all in the Championship next season? Adds a bit more. Adds extra spice. A little 2 games of extra spice, doesn't it?
Well, we've got 3 Welsh derbies coming up, so it's going to be fun.
Well, 6 Welsh derbies if you could both fixtures both ways.
Both fixtures.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun season next season, and out of them all, I think we'll edge at least 3 of them, but in the reverse fixtures.
Well, we'll see. Right. So guys, anyone who wants to clip up what Stefan's just said there, and then we'll come back to this next season if, say, Cardiff 61's Wrexham
a few moments later.
Yeah. Come on, Wrexham! For fuck's sake.
Watch out for Cardiff as well next season.
I'll do that for the Netflix.
We'll see. To be fair, as long as Cardiff are not Cardiff of 24-25, then you'd like to hope Annie won't want to hope this, but you would imagine that they should at least be competent enough to stay up.
I think they'll stay up, and some, Michael. I
hope so. I know you won't hope so, but I do.
I think they'll comfortably, at least sort of middle of the pack, sort of maybe top half, something like that. I think they'll be really good. I think the style of play they have from Brian Barry Murphy, easy for me to say, I think will translate over quite nicely. And they've got some good youngsters as well, Cardiff. I will admit that they've got some really good youngsters who are showing themselves to be really good players. So I'm actually, yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm quite excited to
You
see
can't
what
bring
they're
yourself
like.
to say that unironically, can
Oh
you?
God, right? Yeah, I
To be
think
fair-
they'll be quite good. Yeah,
To be fair, now try saying Brian Murphy. See, I can't even say it now. Try and say that 5 times.
Brian
fast.
Barry Murphy.
blah blah blah.
What was that? Hang on.
BBM.
BBM. There you go. Sounds like BBM bargains.
That reminds me
right.
of Blackberry stuff mentioned during the shit, man.
Well, the point I was originally, because for somehow I called Charlton Cardiff for some reason. But anyway, the point I was getting at, actually, Nathan Jones, I believe, is he a Cardiff fan? Boyhood Cardiff fan. I don't know. I think I heard a rumor
I
somewhere.
think so. Yeah, I think so.
So if
Yeah.
he is, Charlton Cardiff next season, that'll be quite fascinating for him. The point I was going to make was, to get back on point, yeah, Charlton, I think, obviously, when they've had one of the smaller budgets in the league, it just goes to prove what you can do. It's the same with Lincoln going up, to be honest. But like Charlton have done really well, because obviously there was a wobble where they were really looking a bit like the quality might catch up with them. But in the end, they've deserved to stay up, and I think they've made themselves very tough to beat. Obviously, the challenge will be to avoid what happened with Oxford, and I think Charlton obviously are a bigger club than Oxford, and they should have a bigger pulling power. But I would say that the challenge is to avoid second season syndrome like what Oxford did. But Nathan Jones he's the type of firefighter sort of character. So I'm very excited. I'm intrigued to see what they do in the summer to try and see if they're able to bring in the players that maybe might help them push them up the league a few places. And quickly on to answer your earlier question, Carl, on Birmingham. Yeah, I'd say they probably are disappointed to have not challenged really, because there is good quality within that team, and I think that they'll be looking for that.
I will say one thing: in the battle of the American owners and the biggest budgets, come on, Wrexham!
A few moments later,
Exactly.
I've lost to Birmingham. Actually,
what you wish for, Stefan.
I'll tell you what, let me ask you. Well, this is for Carl and Annie in particular, because Stefan, of course, will probably be a bit biased here. Say Wrexham and Birmingham, similar type owners, big American sort of owners and investment, everything else. Which one of them do you think gets to the Premier League first? Because I think both will at some point. I just wonder which one.
It's a good question.
Sorry, what was the question?
The question was obviously because Wrexham and Birmingham. Stefan, stop it!
Right. Nothing there.
Or we'll go savage with the digs again. Yeah. No, what I was going to say. No, Annie. The question was, I think that both Wrexham and Birmingham at some point in the near future will probably get to the Premier League. But which one do you think gets there first? However long that's going to be.
Oh,
yeah.
Ask me this last summer, and I'd have said Birmingham.
See, I would have said the same thing as well.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to go first. Wrexham.
How about no?
Oh, Kindle, shut up.
I know.
This always happens.
If you do something one more time, I'm adding you off the stream. So you better behave yourself.
What's this? Sorry.
Tell the Kindle to shut up.
Right, Kindle. Right. No, genuinely, Wrexham. That's my shout. I think Wrexham get there ahead of Birmingham.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, here's one.
Stefan, I haven't saying yet.
No, Stefan, the reason I'm asking these two because you're going to be biased, sunshine.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm asking these two, so it's more of a new. Well, I don't know how neutral it is for Annie with the Bristol City Wrexham thing, whatever.
What thing? What Bristol City Wrexham?
Well, what so you don't like Cardiff, but Wrexham and Swansea are both in Wales.
I don't dislike Welsh people or Welsh teams in
Just
general.
Cardiff.
Just mild dislike, not like hatred, like a.
Well, fine then. Okay, you're still more neutral then than what Stefan will be. So the reason I'm not asking Stefan is because he's going to go, well, Wrexham any day of the week, man.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say was, if you give me half a chance, what if it was a Wrexham Birmingham playoff final?
Bet your bottom dollar that'll be on ESPN America.
Exactly. Right.
Well, even
Disney
if that,
Plus.
well, even if that was the case, Stefan, both of them can't go up, so you just have to choose.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Yeah, but that's the point. The point is he's going to say Wrexham.
Listen, I would have said Berwick at the start of this season. The teams will go for the American owners, which they go under the American ownerships. Probably would have said Berwick, but I think Wrexham would probably edge them first. Just. I said just, Stefan. I didn't say for the guarantee. Okay. I said just.
Go on, Annie. What do you think?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I'll give you my reasoning. Because I think, and I'm not saying this isn't the case at Wrexham, I think at Birmingham there'll be bigger pressure to get through the Premier League.
That's good. Yeah.
I don't think I'm not saying there won't be pressure at Wrexham because I think that will ultimately rightly be where Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney will want to take Wrexham.
Well, they should have used the old money to pay for that stadium for the stadium. Well, taking money from the taxpayer. For after I read on the news, they used that money to pay for the bloody pitch on it. I'm like, well, you said you paid your own money for the pitch. Turns out that was a fucking lie.
Right, that too. But my point is, I think Birmingham, and I think Wrexham. I think Stefan will probably agree with this. Birmingham would probably view themselves as bigger because of where they've been in recent times. And I think that they will be, and actually might not help them, not to make it too much about rivalries, is if you look, they're probably desperate to get the Prem when you look at Aston Villa in the Champions League, for example. I think there is a bigger pressure and expectation on Birmingham, and I think that they will feel that over the next couple of years. Whereas I don't think Wrexham do. And I think Wrexham will have that, what's the word? I think they'll have a bit more of that buzz still around the place. I could see the racecourse still having a big buzz next season, for example, even. Whereas I think at Birmingham, if they don't get top six, I think it could not turn toxic, but there'll certainly be grumblings, put it that way. So there you go, Stefan. I'm not just saying it because you're here, but I think that Wrexham will get there before Birmingham. Personally.
Of course you're going to agree. Because you're Wrexham, so...
Hey, I admire it. Fair enough.
All right, fair enough. Right,
but it's great for Pompey. Good to avoid second season syndrome again.
Yeah.
It's important for them to stay up, especially after their loss to QPR when they lost 6-1. Well,
Yeah.
Come on over, John.
Breaking news: John Messino signs new contract at Portsmouth, keeping him Fratton Park until 2029.
Come on, John. You know you want to, mate.
To stay at Pompey. We'll wait and see. Oh, imagine that. Liam Manning leaves Huddersfield to go to Portsmouth. The scenes. To be fair, I think John Messino, well, we'll see whether he's there come the start of next season, but I think they've done well to respond to losing 6-1 at QPR. And also, before Andy starts pointing towards Bristol City shirts again, I think when they beat Middlesbrough, Ipswich, and Leicester, but two Year 1 parachute teams and a team that's finished 5th in the Championship. An unbelievable effort to keep Pompey up again. And they need to just take that next step for me now to start making them be more established in the Championship, which I think where they belong. They're too big in my opinion for League One.
Yeah.
Not that football always works that way, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Not that Messina will be there because he'll be at.
He will be at where's the club with an opening? Watford. No, I think any self-respecting head manager stays clear of Watford with a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be there for all 2 games and he'll get a huge payoff.
Okay, fine. He's there for 2 games, gets a huge payoff, then goes to Bristol City. And then Bristol City smash Watford both times. Something like that.
Right.
So I believe there's one more game left.
Yeah, it's one more game. Let's just finish off on the damn squid. And I've said, listen, at least I'm not here.
Squib.
Damp squid.
Damp squid. A good riddance to Buddy.
It did sound like damp squid, to be fair.
Yes, I know. Sorry.
Maybe it's my hearing being dodgy. I don't know.
Listen, most of y'all hearing it's my vocabulary is when I'm just talking a little bit fast, but I apologize.
Sorry, my hearing was dodgy then. Conveniently, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. What about if you want to talk about staying up versus going down?
Probably just more of the team that's going down is going to be.
Well, yeah. To be fair, good for on a serious note, good for Ricardo Pereira to at least end on a win because obviously he's left after a couple of 100 games and appearances for Leicester.
Yeah.
So despite this
in 2020, yeah,
something like that. Yeah, I think he's despite the horrible nature of this season, I think he's left with a decent enough legacy. I'd say at Leicester.
Yeah.
Remember when he was one of the best Premier League, one of the best right backs of the Prem, like a few years ago under Rodgers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if he joined in 2020, he would have been part of the team who won the FA Cup with them. And got into the Shield, winning that as well, and getting into the Europa.
He joined in, of course, the COVID window.
Oh, okay, right. So that would have been 2020 then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair for Leicester, good for them to win, but who cares? The pressure was off then.
Yeah,
Didn't need anything. So
that game was a meaningless game. Done. Season over. Concentrate on week 1. Kind of.
Concentrate saving the bloody club altogether. More
that's right.
Who would you nab from that Leicester squad if you were a Championship club?
El Canoes, Jeremy Munger,
Jordan
Mamadou.
Ayew.
Mavadidi was linked, I think, loosely linked with Championship clubs.
El Canoes is still, I don't know, it's still got
I think he'll go to like a top European club. El Canoes.
Yeah.
Same with
Well,
Fatawu.
I think because Stuttgart. So at the moment in the Bundesliga, I think there's a couple games left. Stuttgart can still qualify for the Champions League. So if they do qualify, I think Canoes will stay permanently. They're 11 points for Bayer Leverkusen, so there's 2 games left, so it's all to play for.
Okay, so if you're going through Leicester start. Sorry, Andy, go on, you finish. You were talking first.
I was just going to say, off the top of my head, El Canoes, who's not technically not a Leicester, if we're not counting players out on loan. Fatawu, Jordan James, those 3, in my opinion, will not be there. Full stop. In terms of
their assets, they can get money for.
As in they'll go to top clubs.
And I think the players that you worry about losing going in the future, if the guy keep Jeremy Munger, Munger, that's the big one. Yeah.
Well, if you're looking at the starting 11 that started against Blackburn, Stolarczyk, Pereira. Well, obviously Pereira's not going to be there. Harry Suter. It is Harry Suter, isn't it?
Suter, yeah, he'll be big.
Harry Winks will be away as well, I would imagine.
If Harry Suter stays in League One, he'll be a huge player for them.
You would think so. Vestergaard, squad man. Vestergaard, Luke Thomas. I think is someone who probably is he right? Is he there on loan, or am I making that?
No, he's permanent. He's a Leicester youth product.
Oh,
isn't
good
he?
God, no wonder they're in League One then. But I was going to say, to be fair, well, actually, Luke Thomas in League One. Well, we'll see if he looks out of place in that division in a good way. We'll see. Hamza Chowdhury, Harry Winks. Now, if you sign him, don't give him 6. He'll tell you to F off. Jeremy Munger.
Exactly. The way you just said it, I was like,
Yeah. Munger, Page, Mavadidi, Daka. Oh, my God. This one, and you're looking at the bench. Like players like Jordan Ayew, Begovic, Bobby Reed, Jordan James, Oliver Skip. This is the thing that Leicester, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to, and they're probably going to have to sell for less than what they feel their value's worth because they're in it. They're big. I think, do you know the football finance expert, Kieran Maguire? I think he said apparently they pretty much spent all of their year 1 parachute payments paying off debts and legacy payments or whatever it is.
God.
That says, well, if he's right, that says how crap they have been ran.
And also, they got Macquarie, the Australian Investment Bank, to pay off their mortgages of the installments as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. And then remember, in League One, when you're looking at, I know Premier League Championship's a big drop, but League One, they're barely going to get any broadcast revenue at all. So, okay, I think, I'm trying to think of a place where I could see being there. Yeah, I could maybe see Harry Suter being there because he's had injury problems in the last couple of years, and he hasn't, and he probably won't have hit the heights he would have wanted. To answer your question, Annie, I could see a club taking Harry Winks on loan, but the only way that happens is if Leicester still pay the bulk of his wages. I could see clubs being in for him. I think Mavadidi, Fatawu, and Jordan James, I agree. I think they're 3 that will go because they can get money for them and they need to get money. I think, and this is Alan Nixon, so I'm taking this with a bit of salt here. But he said, I think it was a rumor that Leicester might have a budget of around 10 million to get out of League One. That's surely going to be exactly. It's the Sun, so I'm not sure how much I believe that. But even if it is true, that will be entirely dependent on player sales. So the issue,
I reckon someone takes a punt on Ben Nelson. He impressed at Oxford, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's a good player, Nelson.
I agree. I can see Hamza Chowdhury going to a Championship club.
I think he smells of Wilder again, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
What I was thinking as well. Yeah,
he did well for Sheffield United, to be fair. So I wouldn't.
Christensen could go. Could go for a big money move as well.
Fast could go as well, the defender Fast.
And Harry Suter as well.
Has Fast not? Is he out on loan at Monaco? Maybe is he permanent? I don't know. He's gone anyway.
I think it is. I think he is on loan.
Who?
Fast,
yeah, he's on loan at Monaco, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was.
No, he's not at Monaco. Yeah, he's at Monaco. He went to Reims before, because he was at Reims before he joined Leicester. Yeah, he's at Monaco. I think Monaco kind of worried about their little... I don't know where Monaco is in the moment in the table, because I think they're in 6th, so yeah, he will be a Monaco player by then.
Okay, but I think if you're looking at this relegation, though, as disastrous as it is, for some of the younger players and some of the players that haven't been anywhere near the squad in the last couple of years, this could be their breakthrough season. It could, for some of them, it could be the ones that like the top end of that sort of caliber. They can go, well, this is selfishly my chance to break into the Leicester first team and then hopefully progress with them. Because make no mistake, the expectation, despite Leicester's situation, their expectation at minimum should be playoffs, an absolute minimum. And
they have to keep players.
And truthfully, I would say that if they didn't get top 2, we could argue it's a failure unless they win the playoffs. Like the pressure is going to be really on next season. Like, because like, with all due respect to these clubs, but if you look at it like when Leicester 5 years ago were playing Roma in Europe, or were playing obviously your big hitters like your Man United, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, and whatever, and then next season you're playing Bromley, MK Dons, and Cambridge. It's a bit no disrespect to those clubs, because for them it will be a great game, and I'm sure it will be. But if you're Leicester as a fan after the last couple of years, you're kind of going, can I bring myself up to be playing Wigan next season?
Well. Yeah, that's true. Especially the teams in League One. I think because Barnsley got really rich owners in that division. And when I mean rich, they got rich owners as me, Stefan.
They have ownership problems, though, don't they, Barnsley?
Yeah, they have financial issues, I think.
And Conor Horan has left as well.
Yeah, so they have rich owners, but I knew they had some issues going on with that of regards with the ownership of the club as well. So I knew, but that was happening. So,
and by the way, just to point out on League One as well, Luton and Plymouth didn't make the playoffs, and I could see them both being quite strong next season.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, so I think you could include Reading in that running as well.
Probably, maybe.
Yeah.
I think you're looking at Blackpool finished 13th. Jesus Christ, we're like down the bottom end most of the season.
They won like 5 in a row or something. 5 in a row.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. So I'm looking at League One. So Luton, Plymouth, and then you look at the playoffs. Maybe less so Stevenage, but Stockport, Bradford, Bolton, or whatever. Say at least 2 of them aren't going up. So, it's not going to be a straightforward League One to get out of, but a lot of it all depends on what Leicester can attract. And Leicester should be able, like with Sheffield Wednesday, but Leicester to a bigger extent because their situation isn't quite as bad. But I would say that actually, I think you've just got to look at it and say Leicester, the expectations rightly going to be on them. So, yeah, disastrous season all round, and obviously they need to sort out a new manager as well.
Yeah.
Can we just quickly touch on the League One playoffs? Because I think it's quite interesting.
I was just going to say one last thing. Good job from Michael O'Neill to come in and give the firefighter thing and keep Blackburn up. We'll see what happens in the summer with that.
They'll probably need a new manager as well.
Yeah, go quick on the League One then.
Probably. Right, go on then, League One playoffs. Yeah. I know it's some very interesting ties.
So, was it Bradford third in the end?
Right, so it was Stockport finished third. So it's Stevenage versus Stockport, and the tie I'm looking forward to, Bolton against Bradford.
Oh, yes.
That's 2 big clubs at League One level.
Juicy, yes. Sold that Valley Parade as well. Now that's going to
be yeah. Bolton at first in the first leg, and then Bradford in the second leg. Oh my god, a watch ball for them. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you're Leicester, to make this the last point before we try to end it.
If you're Leicester, to go to bed. So.
Yeah, well, pretty much, yeah. Nothing to do with private chat at all. But yeah, no, I can see Stefan's going a bit. But bless him. If you're Leicester, who do you want winning the playoffs? I know this sounds really bad from a Leicester point of view, but
it kind of is.
Well, no, it is bad. But I mean, like from a Leicester point of view,
yeah, probably Bolton as well. I'd agree. Because they're the big. They've been here before, haven't they?
I'd say either Bolton or Bradford, because whichever one doesn't go up, I can see being up there next season.
What a job Graham Alexander has done, by the way, at Bradford.
Yeah,
because League Two third in League Two, and just gone straight to the playoffs. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, Stockport finishing in the top 4. They missed out.
And they're a club on the up as well.
They missed out last season after. Especially after the loss later on in the semi-finals. So yeah, and especially I don't think Rich Rails is going to be at Leighton for much longer the way he writing about these players. So, there's a reason why Doncaster got rid of him. So there's a point.
Salford as well, maybe.
Yeah, stay with Salford as well. That's why the Devils and everyone else yeah, fuck this. We can't,
I think to sort of end it and round it off, though, I think it's actually good that when your team's not involved in it, obviously, Stefan, for probably the wrong reasons, I imagine, to be fair, but like, if you're a neutral watching the playoffs, it's one of the best calendar football dates in the football calendar, isn't it? In English football, like the playoffs are just like as a neutral are fantastic.
Wasn't last year, mine, but yeah, this year.
Well, yeah, that's why I said as a neutral, because you and me both weren't neutrals last year. But yeah, I noticed how Stefan suddenly woke up a little bit there as soon as I started going about, oh, well, unfortunately for him, Wrexham didn't make playoffs and stuff
I'll
like that.
still watch the playoffs, though, because it's the best games ever in football.
Well, it's relevant. It's relevant, isn't it, to see who's still in the Championship next year? So,
well, absolutely. Especially the player is now at 40 years old since it came into inception in the 1980s.
Yeah, I need to watch that documentary. Actually, it looks really good.
It is. If anyone wants a documentary here in the UK, it's on Sky Sports as well.
It's on their YouTube channel, I think.
Sports. And it's on YouTube as well. The YouTube as well channel.
I'll double check that to make sure I've not got that wrong.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. I saw it.
Right. Well, in which case I have it right then. Fair enough.
Right. Let's get on with the tables so we can finish this off on the because I want to
one last time.
One last time. One last time indeed.
Where's the season gone, by the way?
I know.
It's just gone.
I know. So Coventry finished up as champions while with Ipswich Town getting that final promotion spot, which means Millwall will face Hull City and Southampton in the playoffs. A good season for Wrexham, despite they missed out on the final day of the season along with Derby County. Norwich did finish on the high, especially the loss as well, 9th place after they had a bit of a disaster start. Newly promoted as well, Bury City finished in the top 10 along with some behind Swansea 11 points. Bristol City, Sheffield United, who were the runners up last season, who lost the playoff finals last season, finished in 13th. QPR is again being one of the longest teams in the Championship, along with Preston finishing 15th. Watford again, second their manager, 16th. Stoke finishing in the bottom half again. At least they finished up 17th, but they usually finish 18th, so that's a huge difference with that one. Portsmouth Athletic confirmed their relegation survival, especially Charlton getting promoted back from League One last season. Blackburn finished on the high under Michael Neal, despite with West Brom getting deducted 2 points before the last week of the season. They did stay up. And then in the bottom three, unfortunately, Oxford going down along with Leicester City back down into the 13th for the second time since 2008. And while Sheffield Wednesday, finished with 0 points, the Leeds finished on the high after they were deducted multiple number of points of 12 points and 16, nearly 20 points as well. And so, we finished where to look at the table for the last time. And also the last of the show of the regular season as well, gentlemen. And
playoffs.
Well, I was going to say,
of the regular season, we could do some of the playoffs and the play. That's.
Well, I was going to say, I think you could do something like, and I'll make this very quick, but I think you could do something like the second tier pod have kind of done this. I'm stealing their idea a little bit, but you could do a situation where you grade each club's season. Where say if you go from say 1 week you do 24th to 13th. And then you grade each club season, say A to F, and then the second week
we will discuss that, especially.
Yeah, we've got time to discuss that. We've got
and especially I want to, because like I said, we've got the Premier League stuff we need to finish off here, so as well. So we're gonna have time to discuss all that once the season's done, even though it's gonna be a short one because we've got the World Cup coming around.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to cram everything in, but. Yeah, but like I say, it's a lot. It's the last season of the Championship Review, regular season Championship Review doing, but we will try to do some of the Championship Review as well. But you won't see the regular season again till August when we be back on.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say thanks to every one of you for who's done this with us, by the way, because it's been really good. I've enjoyed doing this.
Absolutely as well, and we are going to
continue again next year.
And especially we're going to have some huge changes across the channel here as well. Especially we are going to be with the Championship Review. It's been one of our pedigree shows we've had this season, along with the Saturday show. I think so that will continue growing as well too. So yes, so we will be looking forward to that to discuss as well. But like I said, hope you guys have a good summer. For most of the teams that are not in the playoffs, but for anyone in the players, have a good weekend and it'll cost 2 legs because it's going to be so much drama and intense as well too. So, like I said, enjoy while it lasts as it can do.
Enjoy it
last season.
Enjoy it, but enjoy it whilst being disciplined.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Good old tribute to Neil Warnock. I love it.
Absolutely. So, listen, thank you very much for everyone, to Stefan, to Michael, to Annie, also to those who's been part of doing this show as well this season as well too, and also to when Anna's been on a little bit as well, and especially so we'll give him
on the highlights of the show. That
I know it's highlights of the show as well.
We're playing Roma 4 years ago. Now we're playing fucking Bromley next season.
Absolutely,
Respectable,
yeah.
mate.
Well, hopefully we'll get out back. You never know, but yeah, he'll do. He'll just
And
do
Nathan as
one
well, by the
show.
way. We need to get Nathan back on.
We'll get Nathan on as well to see.
Yeah.
That's the plan. We'll get Nathan, back on the next season with us as well. So that will be huge. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the summer. But you see me and myself on this week on doing the 20 Premier League podcast with Doug. Hopefully we'll be on Wednesday when we do the recording tomorrow evening. So keep an eye on Wednesday, and then myself, Stefan, and Reese are back on with the Saturday show this weekend around 11:30 as well. So that's all we've got time for. We'll see you guys soon. Take care for now. Goodbye from us.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.